Welcome back, Code Breakers. What's going on? Once again, it's your boy Black Phoenix in the building. So, you know how in life you meet people and you think you just met them, or some people they become longtime friends, but you don't necessarily know what impact they're truly going to have on your life? Well, I have the pleasure of introducing to you guys a gentleman who has been that to me. I am not going to waste any time getting into it. His name is Corey Brandon. This is my dude. Look, he's the out of body experience guy underneath Darius J. Wright. And I'm not even going to waste any time. I'm going to get straight into it. Corey, you go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Well, like you said, I'm Corey Brandon, Soul Traveler 77 on YouTube. And like Antoine said, we've been friends since we was kids. Like, we shout out to Shannon Park. We've known each other since we were like little tykes. And funny enough, me and his brother, the older brother, are the same age. So he was kind of like my little brother in them age, my little sister's age. But then as we got older, me and him connected in a way that really kind of, it's crazy because we talk about it all the time. Our journeys are like parallel, like in most regards, actually, not even some, in most regards. So,
right.
You know, I'm honored and thankful to be able to come on your platform and speak with you. Man, it's always a pleasure to be able to talk with you. You done gave me some of the most golden nuggets that I've had so far in my life. So I appreciate you, boss.
Of course, man. No doubt, man. And I'm glad to have you here. So let me just go back to it. I'm sitting there watching TV. Well, I got YouTube pulled up. And all of a sudden, your face shows up. And you're talking about out-of-body experiences. Out of everything that you could have been talking about, out-of-body experience was the thing. And I was like, whoa, I know him. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, right before my brain surgery, or maybe it was after the brain surgery, I can't recall, but I know Darius had come across my screen. I watched a couple of his videos and I was like, yo, that makes sense because I have had an out-of-body experience myself. But when you showed up, I was like, oh, like it's real, because you know how it is. You see people on YouTube, you see people on social media, and a lot of people are trying to make money and jump on the hype and the bandwagon. But when it's somebody you know, not just the fact that you know them, but it's somebody you respect, you admire, and that you can truly trust whatever it is that they say.
Right.
So to see your face show up, bro, I was like, let me click on it. I clicked on it, I watched the video, and I was like, oh, shoot. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, man, we got to talk. Like, we got to talk, bro.
No, and I'll be honest with you, boss, that was the reason I did the testimonial in the first place, because I've seen his other testimonials, and no offense, they just not me. Like, I'm a different, I'm a real guy, like a hood Nigga. Like, I'm that guy. Like, we come from the cloth. So to hear, you know, you get a lot of people, love and light people, and you like, oh, they weird. But then when you see a guy's like, nah, he remind me of me. Like that, and I think that was my whole purpose of doing that testimonial with Darius. I don't think I was ever planning on sharing it, but something in my spirit just said, hey, there's a section of people that grew up how you grew up, deep, steep in religion and all this other stuff, and they not gonna resonate with the people that's on these other testimonials.
All right, so we just had a quick technical difficulty. Can you start that over?
No, it's cool. I was just saying, like, that's what made me ultimately do the testimonial for Darius, because I just didn't see people that look like me. Like, and I ain't even talking about black. Well, it's black people on his testimony. I'm talking about people, young dudes who come from the cloth and been through it. And I just knew that once somebody saw my face on there, people like me gonna resonate with it. And so that's why I did it. It ended up being like really successful. Like, most of the people say, oh, that's one of my favorite testimonials because of the authenticity of it, because I just don't know how to be anything else but myself. So you know, so yeah.
Man, so I mean, the biggest question that because I watched a couple of interviews that you've had with other people, and they always ask, what was the journey about and stuff like that. So, and a couple of them you mentioned, like a friend who told you, like, bro, whatever where you going next is gonna be life changing. And of course, I'm honored to say I'm that guy, right? So the thing is, like, even though I know the journey, that's part of what I want to discuss. Start out with discussing is before we get into the OBE side of things, because I know it's a matter of, you know, you start to understand that there are things you already know, and essentially we're already remembering. But a lot of people, which is what my show is dedicated to, is helping people get out of the victim mode, in addition to going from not just believing, but knowing, because that's how I got to where I am. And that's a part of your journey. So, man, go ahead and tell them, like, you know, how it is growing up in the church and how we went through it. And
typical Southern Black childhood. Parents knee deep in the church. My grandmother was a preacher. We didn't go to regular church, though. We went to a holiness church. So if you know anything about that, that's that shouting, falling out. Women can't wear pants.
Ladies can't wear no pants.
Nah, they can't wear pants or no makeup. Guys gotta be very modestly dressed. I couldn't even have a flat top fade for a while because they were saying that's too much like the world at that time. So it was like really restrictive.
Right.
Coincidentally, I probably got in the most trouble in my childhood during that period, because typically when you restrict a child from so much, they tend to like want to rebel against it, and it's just natural. I missed the Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation concert because my mama said it was worldly, so you can't go. I couldn't go trick or treating with my friends because that's of the devil, you know, that type of stuff. So I grew up in that type of background. Now, what I say is I laugh at it now, but it definitely shaped me. It shaped a lot of my perspective, good and bad. Like, you know, it wasn't all bad. It just helped shape me. And it gave me a belief system, but it also introduced me to the spiritual side of things. And so there is a spiritual side. There's a soul and things. It's just the way that they translate it is not necessarily what it really is. But grew up in that upbringing, had all kind of ups and downs in religion. It was parts where I was super strong, going to church all the time. And then there was parts where I was like, yeah, I'm in the streets. So I'm out here doing my thing. I'm not, during my college phase, wasn't thinking about church. I didn't even come home, but 2 or 3 times the whole 4 years I was away. So, you know, I wasn't thinking about none of that. I was enjoying my life. And got out of college, came back home, got knee deep back in the church again, to a point where I was like involved, usher boards type stuff like that. And I had some really like supernatural experiences. Like I'm talking about pastors come to the church and they do one of these and everybody fall out, and I fell out too. So this is how I knew a lot of that stuff was real. Like I'm like, I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it was actually godly, but I know it was a real thing, right? So grew up in that, spent my whole, you know, entire young adulthood in church. And then it just got to a point where I started asking too many questions. And so again, I'll backtrack to a time I was like 16 years old. And my aunt, who was atheist, by the way, so it was kind of like I'm taking her words with a grain of salt because you don't even believe in nothing. And then I even told her, like, you got faith, you just have faith in the wrong stuff. I told her one time, I said, you believe your car gonna take you home and you ain't even thought about that, have you? And she looked at me like, what? I was like, yeah, so you got a measure of faith. You just got to measure your faith in some different stuff. And you ain't thought about having a car wreck and losing your life tonight, have you? You just know you going home in your car. So anyway, but that was the kind of relationship me and my aunt had. It wasn't a do what I say type relationship. It was we converse. Right. And she honored the wisdom that I had at a young age, while I more than honored the wisdom she had at a much older age. So she told me one time, she said, Corey, religion will never be enough for you because you ask too many questions. And that stuck with me up until now. She told me that 30 years ago. And up until now, I still remember her telling me that. Like, religion will never be enough for you because you ask too many questions. And that kind of stuck with me. It was like a spark that kind of stuck with me and started growing and growing and growing as I went on through life. So got to an age where I got married because of religion. So, know, you're in the church. They say, hey, you don't want to be sinful. You better go and get married. So I ended up getting married to a girl I had known for about a year, maybe a year. Not even a year, matter of fact, probably less than a year. Wow. I got married, had my first child together. She was, again, because I know what I know now, I have harbor no ill will or even bad memories of it, because I know everything we went through was meant for us to go through in order to bring my daughter here to this realm. And we agreed to do that before either of us were even born. So again, and we'll talk more about that when we get into the OBE stuff. But that marriage lasted for like a year. And then I just knew, I was like, yeah, I don't want to be married at all to anybody. Like, I don't want to be married. This is not, I'm 25 years old. I don't want to be doing this for the rest of my life, because marriage is supposed to be forever. So, and we mutually started realizing that, yeah, this probably was a bad idea. We're a little too young for this. So we mutually parted ways, and I ended up moving to Atlanta, and there I just it was party city. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You already know. I'm free. I'm in the clubs. It's ATL during the heyday of ATL, like when ATL really was that. Met all these famous people, got to be in all these crazy places, and I'm like, yo, this is it. This is living. Like, I'm enjoying it. Brokest time of my life financially. Didn't care. Just enjoyed making enough money to pay my rent and go to the club. That's it. That's all I need. Right? So that was my thing. And then unfortunately, my mother got diagnosed with cancer around the same time I left to go to Atlanta. And she battled that for a while. I ended up moving to Dallas for a job. So I was in Dallas, Texas for like 3 years. I got the call on January 4th your mom not gonna make it, you need to hurry up and get home. And so I hopped on the next flight and I got home. She stayed there. She stayed awake as long until I got there. I got to say my last words to her, and even then I understood what was happening. Like, everybody else around me is crying, and I did too once it was over. But in that moment, I knew this wasn't a finality type thing, right? So I even whispered in her ear, you can go home now. I told her that. I said, you can go home now.
Wow.
And then after that, they took her off the breathing apparatus, and, you know, she took her last breaths. And it's a surreal moment. If you've ever watched a person, you know, transition right in front of you, it's a surreal moment. And obviously being still religious and not knowing what I know now, even if I did know what I know now, I still would have had those emotions, but probably not in the same way now that I know what I know. But, you know, but again, like I said, I even understood at that moment, it was somber, because I knew things go through your mind like, my daughter ain't gonna get to have her grandma. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have my mother's mother passed before I was ever born. So I never even got to meet her. So you got to meet your granddaughter. She got to meet you, and she not going to remember you 20 years from now, because, you know, that's going to be so much time.
Right.
So things like that really kind of hurt. But, you know, it is what it is. We're all going to meet that end. It's not a question of if, it's just a question of when. So, from there, I ended up moving back to Atlanta, because I literally told my job in Dallas, I said, hey, listen, my mom just passed. I'm going home. So I'm either going to quit, or y'all can transfer me to the office they had there. And they were so gracious enough to just transfer me and say, yeah, we understand, you can go back. So I ended up transferring back to Atlanta. And I say home because that was the closest thing to Charlotte. So where they had an office. So I was like, hey, I got to go home. And that's closer. That's a 4-hour drive as opposed to taking a 4-hour flight. You know what I mean? So it's different. And so I came back to Atlanta, and just the same thing, just living life, enjoying life, you know, doing what I need to do. And it was around, and then I ended up meeting my current wife and got married again. This is years afterwards. Like, I was, listen, at this point I was like telling girls, I'm not going to be your boyfriend. I just want you to know right off the rip, I'm not looking for no girlfriend. I don't want no relationship. I ain't getting married again. None of that. So if you're dealing with me, just know what you need to know. That's it. It's going to be us having a good time. We can go out to dinner, do our thing. But that's as far as it's going to go. And I did that all the way up until I met my current wife. And then I realized, like, hey, I'm getting older. I really wanted to be married. I needed to go through that and enjoy being by myself and discovering more about me, so that I could be a better husband, really. So then I met my wife. We been together ever since. We got married in 2018 or 2019, one of the two. She'll kill me if I don't know the.
Oh man, you finna get in trouble, bro.
I'm gonna get in trouble for that. But you know, I ain't good with dates. I don't even remember birthdays. I'm terrible with that stuff. So and she know that. But anyway, so we've been married for 8 years. It was in February, so 8 years. So we were getting ready to go into a decade. But so right around this time is when me and you reconnected. Like we had been homies back in the day. It's been a lifetime. We ain't talked to each other. I don't know you. I didn't even know you had kids. I didn't know none of your story.
Right.
We reconnected on that Hebrew Israelite stuff. And I can tell you exactly what happened. I was in church and I had a homeboy that was in Denver. He kept trying to talk to me about Hebrew Israelites. I was like, yeah, man, okay, yeah. I ain't really trying to hear that, bro. That sound crazy. What you talking? And not even the black Jesus and the black Israel, like not even the fact they were black sounded crazy. The fact that you saying I need to go do some laws and I need to abide by these rules and stuff. I was like, yeah, nah, I ain't with all that, bro. Get out of here. But one day I remember I was in church and I was sitting there in the auditorium and it was like a mega church in Atlanta. As a matter of fact, Montel Jordan is the minister of music there now. So imagine walking into church and seeing that this is how we do it, guys singing gospel. It's crazy, right? So and I had been going to church for a while. At this point, I became part of the ministry. I was helping old people out their car. I was part of that morning greeting ministry. That's what it's called, a greeting ministry. So I helping old people out of the car, directing traffic in the parking lot, all that kind of shit. So one day I'm sitting in church and just my spirit spoke to me, my soul spoke to me. It was like, ain't nobody in here getting nothing out of this. And I just looking around, all I see is dry bones, dry soul. Just people just sitting there listening just for the sake of listening. And that day, I said, yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I ain't going back to that church no more. And I ain't going back to church, period. I knew. Right. And then so around that same time is when me and you reconnected and you was telling about the Israelite stuff. So I'm like, damn, why everybody keep coming to me with this? So let me invest some time into it to find out. Because it's a reason it's coming to me. It's part of the journey. It's part of what I need to know. So let's figure out what it is. And from there, I spent, and this was around 2007, because this was right when I first met my wife. Because I told my wife, hey, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I follow this, and this. If you ain't with that, let me know. We won't even carry this on. And my wife, who coincidentally isn't black, was all for it. She was like, if that's what you own, it makes sense, let's go. And she followed the law, statutes, and commandment probably as good, if not better, than I did. And so me and you reconnected. And this is when me and you started talking about Hebrew Israelites, and I'm starting to listen and stuff. One thing I never did, though, is I never joined any camps. I said, I don't want to join another church. I'm cool on that. Right. Give me the knowledge. I'll do with it what I want. I don't want nobody telling me what to do. That's where I was at with it. Like, if it's anybody gonna tell me what to do, it's gonna be God in the Bible. Ain't no man gonna tell me what to do. I don't need you to be a buffer for me, between me and God. If his word is his word and I can read it, then I don't need nobody to tell me nothing. So I don't need nobody to help me read. I can read. Like, to me, people who need leaders are people who are illiterate. Because if the word is there and you can read it for yourself, you don't need nobody to teach it to you. To me, that's how I feel.
Plus, think about it. Thing that I questioned about church is why is it that parents will kick their children out the house at age 18, but you supposed to stay at the same damn church for 40 years, 50 years. You don't know nothing. You don't know no more than whatever the pastor told you. You only memorize what the pastor told you. Everybody that speaks is always talking about what pastor say. You know what I'm saying? They only know what yearly or annually has been programmed. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro,
they not even paying attention to the stories that they learning. Jesus himself took his 12 disciples and taught them everything, and then told them, go out and preach to the masses. That's what church should be doing. Church should be taking guys, saying, hey, I'm going to teach you everything about the Bible. Now you go out and preach it. Start you another church or go do what you want to do. But financially, that don't work. If I got 12 good soldiers and they all go out and start churches, and I guess who my competition is? My guys. Because they going to start their churches. And now people who mess with me and you, if me and you are deacons and we got a good pastor teaching us the word and we want to go out and do our own thing, the people who who resonate with you, they gonna go to your church. The people that resonate with me, they gonna go to my church. But guess what's happening? Both parties is leaving his church. So, I even realized that's why they want you to marry people in the church, so you can keep all of the
keep you there,
keep you in there, keep the money in there. My wife.
If anybody in the black community practices generational wealth, it is the church.
It's the church.
Because for generations, the church keeps people locked in there for generations. We can't get no generational wealth outside the church. We can't pass it along. But boy, that church benefits from generations.
So I'm gonna say this: it ain't generational wealth; it's generational church wealth. Because the people of the generations that stay there, they never see none of that wealth. They never get.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
and they stay there. Yeah, their kids go there, and their kids go there. And they listen. My grandmother was a preacher. The poorest people in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I grew up, was the people at my grandma's church.
Wow.
Them was the most poorest, downtrodden, had nothing, born with nothing, died with nothing. I'm talking about people. When I was a kid, they was poor. When they died, they was still poor. And that says something to me, because if God is the God that owns the heel of 1,000 cattle, and he got all this stuff, and his blessings is supposed to manifest and all this stuff, you're supposed to get all these blessings for serving him. Now, I mean, you serving somebody. You're supposed to get paid for serving. You ain't a slave to him. You're a servant to him.
Right.
And as a servant, I'm supposed to receive, and it ain't just the by and by in the afterlife, which is what they teach you. They keep you docile by telling you it's going to happen in the by and by. You'll get rewarded in the afterlife. Well, obviously, now I know what I know. That ain't even the case, but yeah.
Or the infamous that keeps people trapped. I can't stand to hear this. People always say, God is getting ready to. God is about to. God is always in process. Why the fuck God can't never get nothing done? Seriously.
And all he could get, but he could get the whole creation of the earth and the world and the universe done.
In
but he
7
can't
days.
Get you out of poverty. He got to wait a little bit long. You need to do a little bit more before you can come out of that poverty. And that shit don't even match up with the people in the Bible. What was it? Job. He was the richest man on the planet. He's the richest man on the planet. Okay, test me if I'm the richest man on the planet, but don't test me if I'm the poorest man on the planet. Come on, bro. I'm already tested. Like, what we talking about?
Thank you.
So just all these things never added up with me in church, which is why I moved to the Israelites. So got with that doctrine. I'm not even gonna say got with these guys, because I never joined any type of camp. I was like, because y'all kind of low key racist, and my wife ain't black. And if anybody ever says something crazy about my wife, I'm stealing off on them. I don't care, you brother. What we talk. I used to go downtown praying one of them niggas would be on the street corner talking crazy, because I was gonna smack the shit out of one of them niggas with my wife with me. Like, I was praying for it.
But I'm gonna tell you, I'm glad it never happened, because real talk, your wife is pretty. So that probably made it worse for you being an Israel. You know what I'm saying? In the Israelite doctrine.
Now let me tell you, the uniqueness of it was you couldn't tell what she was. So she's pretty much ethnically ambiguous, meaning if you look at her, you don't know what she is. She a mix of some different stuff, but she ain't black. Like, she don't have no black in her whatsoever. And so, and then I'm sitting around like trying to, because she is, her father is native. So I'm sitting around, well, she one of us because that's the native, and because they got the 12 Hebrew Israelite chart, the 12 tribes chart, and these people is this people. I'm like,
that don't make no sense.
How you niggas even know that? And
bro,
and it all came from a dream of some dude. It came from a dream that some dude had. Like, nigga, what we talking about?
It's stupid to begin with, because how can you say, and why everybody always want to make the tribe of Judah America, right?
Yeah.
How can you say that the slave catchers came and said, oh, you're this tribe, we're taking you here. Oh, you're this tribe, we're taking you there. Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man. Stop.
Come on, man.
Like, okay, so listen. Let's back up a second, because I don't want to bash them right just yet. I am going to get in their ass, but I don't want to do it just yet. we building this up. So, with that being said, they was on this whole, white people going to hell. I heard a nigga whose mama was white. He one of these big chief captain people in a camp somewhere. Yeah. His mama white. His daddy was black. His mama white. He said on a YouTube channel. I could pull it up and y'all can find him. I don't know his name. I don't care who he is. He said his mama deserved hell because she was white. And at that moment, I said, y'all niggas is tripping. I'm done with y'all. And at that point, I knew the camp stuff wasn't for me. I'm not going to walk around dressed like a Power Ranger. That's not finna happen. Fuck out of here. Like, I'm not doing none of that shit. Walking on with these things and the little thing. I'm not going around looking like the Purple Ranger. Fuck out of here.
They look like show enough, bro. Who's the master?
Bro, you're not finna play me with that goofy ass shit on. And so, they out here, listen, I get it. Y'all ain't used to having no girls. Y'all ain't used to having nothing. Y'all ugly niggas. Y'all lame ass niggas. I get it. You needed that to validate yourself. But I ain't one of them. So I ain't going to be yelling at people on the corner, doing all that stuff. And Antoine, when I tell you, boss, I was praying for the day that I be walking in downtown Atlanta and one of them niggas like try to disrespect my wife. I would. Yeah. Because I used to carry guns. Like in the South, it's legal to carry guns. Right, exactly. So I used to keep a pistol on me all the time. So I used to be like, when them niggas start talking crazy, it's going to go to a level it don't need to go to. Because I ain't going to let you talk crazy about my wife. I don't care what God told you. I don't care what God told you. God going to have to remove me from this earth right now. If your God is real, he better remove me because I'm finna remove you. Like, that's how how angry I got over the disrespect I used to see them niggas do. Like, I'm talking about just, I never experienced it. Because, again, when I walked downtown, them niggas was nowhere to be found. But when I would see them out and see the videos of them accosting white people and Spanish people talking crazy to people, and I'm like, nigga, you light as her. What you talking about? Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't get down with that. Now, the good part about their doctrine is that it made me more disciplined. It made me read my Bible with a new set of eyes. Facts. So this is why I say I'm not going to go all crazy on them. It was certain things I didn't like about them. Right. But me too. For what they do is beautiful in terms of leveling you up in your understanding of scripture and how to read scripture. Like, and how to question and how to question scripture. But precepts, like I never even thought of the idea that the Bible interprets itself. Like I'm like, oh shit, and he's like, well, this is what he was saying when he said this. Like that even helps me in where I am now because people don't understand a lot of what Yeshua was teaching is basically out of body experiences and esoteric knowledge. This is why they hated him. But like when he told people like when I tell people ye are gods, that's in Psalms, right? That's in Psalms. But then not only in that, Jesus doubled down on it when he talked to the Pharisees. He said, hey, don't y'all's laws say ye are gods? Why y'all fucking with me? Why y'all fucking with me when your own law says ye are gods? And all them niggas had to shut up and walk off. And so learning how precepts work and stuff, that was huge for me. And I ended up, my wife, beautiful soul, ended up buying me a Sefer. So I only had the Bible with 66 books in it. She bought me the Sefer. It's got all 88. I'm like, oh, we popping now. So I'm reading. Bruh. And then I start reading Enoch, who down. And so these niggas is telling you don't read the book of Enoch. Nigga, what? The white man saw don't read them other books that y'all saying I should read. So the Romans said we're going to do 66. Y'all saying we're going to do 87. It's 88, but we're going to leave out Enoch because it's talking about the moon and other. Man, shut the fuck up. That is knowledge in there. And now, because I know what I know now, I know why people want to leave Enoch out of that thing. Because Enoch gets that religious bullshit out of there. And now he's talking about beings that actually were here. Physical beings that came from another place and presented themselves as gods. And now he talking about when he says the children of Anak, you know who, now I know who the children of Anak are. So these are the children of Anu, who is Anunnaki. And so now you start learning this stuff. You're like, putting it together. Oh shit. So anyway, I'm with the Hebrew Israelites. I'm keeping the laws, the Shabbat, the holy days. On Day of Atonement, I'm fasting for 24 hours. I done eliminated all other holidays. We ain't celebrate Christmas no more, no nothing. Like and the crazy part is my wife was down for it all. My kids, My kids didn't even know what Christmas was for like 5 years. They wasn't even, it wasn't even no thing to them. And then, like I said, it was then me and you was talking about it, and we was kind of going back and forth, teaching each other stuff, and mostly you teaching me, because I was like, my shit was more practical. You guys were knee deep and knew this, that, and the third. I was like, yeah, well, I don't care. I'm just gonna follow what I can. Like, I'm gonna follow these laws the best I can, and that's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna go too far. I'm not dressing up like in these clothes. I'm not I'm not moving out in the middle of the woods with no group of people and none of this crazy ass shit.
Right.
I'm not doing none of that. So I'll follow the law, statutes, and commandments best I can. But then I remember, and this is where you started kind of going, stop. I noticed you weren't talking about it as much. Like on Facebook, you just wasn't talking about it as much. And me and you talked about it a lot. And you wasn't talking about it as much. And I never forget you said to me, and I tell people this when I do interviews, like this is part of my interview story. I tell them, I don't mention your name directly, but I tell them about you in this moment. I remember you said something, and again, I don't remember it verbatim, but you said something like, wait till you see the next thing that you're going to learn. It's going to totally blow your mind and take you somewhere else. And I was like, what? I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I was like, okay, well, he gone. And then at that point, me and you stopped talking, and then we didn't talk for like 2 years. You was doing your life, I was doing mine. But I noticed that was the same time you was getting into the psilocybin and knowing about that stuff and the herbal treatments. And I was like, where this nigga going? And so I was like, hey, I'm gonna let him go. Because I'm interested in that too. I want to know that too. So this is where it started shifting. So in 2 ways. It started shifting in terms of what I wanted to learn about the Bible, like the truth of the Bible, the truth behind what the Israelites were teaching. Because I had questions like, why did God tell Saul to kill all them people and steal their shit? Why does God need to do that? Why can't God just do this and all them people disappear? Why they gotta die by the sword? Do you understand what getting killed with a sword gotta feel like? Like somebody taking a sword this long, as long as a man, and running it through your gut. That's not a quick death. Like you die painfully, and it takes a while for you to bleed out. And you had them do that. The holy people, set apart people, do this to another group of people, man, woman, and child, to the point where because Saul didn't kill the king, you took Saul's kingdom from him. That shit didn't make no sense to me. So you the God that owns a hill with 1,000 cattle, but you need them to take shit kill all these people and take their shit. That don't make sense.
The whole God of the Bible stopped making sense to me. I'm just gonna jump in where we were, and as far as the Hebrew Israelite thing, because I will say, just piggybacking off what you said, there was a lot of discipline that I did get. I did love the fact that they pointed out stuff like, they changed the name Jesus, but the letter J didn't exist. So there's no way his name could have been Jesus. Stuff like that. Like I will say, they really have certain things that they lock in on, and it causes you to question stuff. What ended up happening was, as I said, I was just like we were paying attention to each other. I was paying attention to you. I was really staunch, real deep into my Hebrew Israelite experience. But I was paying attention to your practicality. And the way that you spoke about things concerning what was being taught by Yeshua. You see what I'm saying? And I was like, dang, that does make sense. So it kind of started softening my heart, because I'll be honest, Hebrew Israelite, the doctrine, it ain't about love. As much as they want to try to dress it up, it's not about love. It is anger. It is hate. And I'm speaking from experience. Yes, it's revenge. It's constantly finding something wrong with other people. I can't tell you. I mean, like, real talk, bro. I destroyed my second marriage. Oh, it was the worst part of it was during my time in Hebrew Israelite, being so forceful, being so law driven. It's gotta be right. It's gotta be, what I'm saying, real hard with it. Angry. You're right. And so I started looking at myself. I'm all about self, bro. I started looking at myself and I was like, this ain't adding up. I'm looking at the fact that I'm destroying family members. I'm causing discord. I'm causing all of these unnecessary arguments over belief, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I looked at all of it and I started pulling back. And like I said, while I was pulling back from it, I was paying attention to you because I respect you. I admire you. And I respect your approach to how you were presenting certain things and stuff. And so I just started really looking at the scriptures and I said, I know what they saying, but this still don't look like Yeshua. And then I started really looking at it and I said, hold up, man. We a bunch of fucking Pharisees. We a bunch of Pharisees and we call ourselves believers and all of this stuff, but all we doing is the same thing the Pharisees did. And the funny thing is I paid attention to the fact that Yeshua said to them, you know the way in and you keep the people, no, you know the way, but you keep the people from entering in. That meant they were keeping something from the people, which was what he was teaching and that they did not want the people to know. Because when you don't have to depend on some other authority figure, when you don't have to sit there and wait for someone to validate you and you find out who you are, because like he said, is it not written in your law that ye are gods? They didn't want the people to understand that. And so I started understanding it. Fortunately for me, just like I was a guide for you, there was a brother who, cool brother, his name is Lonnie. And he was the one who immersed me as an Israelite. I went and met this brother personally in South Carolina. He immersed me in the water and everything. And he had already started coming out. And he, just like how I did you, he didn't put no pressure. He just said, you know, whenever I told him I was questioning stuff, he said, you want to know some more stuff, huh? And what he did is, he passed me the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ.
And that was, hold on, let me jump in here because that is exactly what you passed to me. So you did, all you did was what he did for you, you gave that gift to me. And when you gave me the Aquarian Gospel, I wasn't even ready to read it at the time. I was like, yeah, I don't know yet. But once and I don't like reading, I like audiobooks. Once I plugged in that audiobook and listened to that shit, I said, like, if you could have seen my face the first time I listened to it, I thought about you immediately. And I said, this is what Antoine was talking about. This is it. And then that took me down the road. But go ahead and finish what you were saying. I just wanted to jump in there because that was the exact same thing that you did for me, what he did for you.
Yeah, no, I was looking back to see if my book was there because my book, it's that old school library where like if, you know, the page is kind of brown and cream color, like it was, man, I read that thing, I highlighted through it. And I'll say like chapter 8 through 11 changed my whole life. And pretty much like for me, all he did, he introduced me. He just said, you know, he went to Tibet, he went to India, he went to the mystery schools and stuff like that. And I was just like, for real? But he didn't tell me anymore. He said, you read it and you make the determination. Because again, when people are wanting to come out and understand, one of the things that I personally do, I don't tell them what to expect. I don't tell them what to look for. I just give it and say, be ready for something different. If this is what you want, you found it. And so I was, at that same time when we weren't talking as much, that's also whenever I was going through my training in Reiki. Like now I'm a Reiki master. But that was when I got initiated into that. And bro, some stuff happened that I could not explain. That was, you know, and I'll touch on it in a sec, but you know, stuff just started happening. I was like, whoa. And that's when it was also during that time when I actually had my first out of body experience. And I remember I was up in the air and I looked at my body because there was this being and he had like a sapphire blue body and it was glistening. And he was just telling me all this stuff. And he was talking about how time wasn't real and how everything we know is backwards. Like he was just dropping so much.
Wait a minute, you said a sapphire blue body?
Yes.
Did it look like a human or did it look like something else?
No, it didn't. It didn't look human. Okay. His face. The best way I can describe it is if you take a combination of the guy, the being that trained Green Lantern in the movie, the pig dude, and then the guy who gave him the ring. Like it's almost like a merge of those two.
So can I tell you what I think it is? Can I tell you what I think that being was? It was an Octurian.
Yes.
And so you can look up the Octurians. They usually have a bluish tint to them.
Wow.
And again, I haven't seen one out of my body. I've seen some other extraterrestrial beings out of my body, but I haven't seen one of those. But just from the description, once I got off into the Anunnaki story, that kind of led me down the path of learning about all these other alien races. And so, from what you're telling me, when you said the color, it kind of stuck in my mind. That sounded like what an Arcturian would look like. And they're one of the most wisest alien races there is. Like, they're super wise. They travel. They're 12-strand DNA type stuff. So like they're what we are when we ain't here. So
bro, you just really triggered a whole lot because wow, thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Go look, and I'm gonna send you, because I can't remember the name of the YouTube channel, but I'm gonna send you YouTube channel. It literally, they have videos where they go through all the different known alien races. Now you got to remember, the government been knowing about these beings since the 60s. We just now starting to get disclosure on them. And I ain't talking about the little grays and the little ET looking joints. There's all kind of races, and like I said, some I've seen personally. So in the out of body state, and we'll talk to that when we get to that. But yeah, it sounds like you seen an Arcturian.
Yes, man. What I do recall from that was he dropped a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, man, he told me so much. Yeah. And I remember looking back and I said, can you please let me go back to my body so I can wake up and write this? Because I had a pad. Like, I was already starting to experience stuff. So journaling and all of those things, I was developing that habit. And I recall he said clearly, no, when you go back, you won't remember all of this. But over time, it will begin to return to you and make sense. And I was just like, oh shoot, okay. So yeah, I went on with that journey, went and did the my Reiki training. All kinds of stuff was going on during that time. Funny thing is, that's whenever things intensified for my divorce, and that started happening. And somewhere along that way, I tried the psilocybin. And my first experience, bro, what's very interesting is with that experience, all it did was unlock what I had already known, because some of the spaces I went to, but there was this one part though, bro, where I went so far out that I looked and I saw everything was a drop of blood. And I heard a voice say, I am that I am. And I said, oh shoot, I get it. I am it. I am the divine.
That was your voice.
Yeah. So whenever that happened, everything that I had read in the Aquarian Gospel really made sense.
Yeah.
It really made sense.
Let me tell you what's going to happen for you now. Once you start having OBs, you will never need psilocybin ever again, because
I don't even use it.
Yeah, even if you want it. So let me tell you.
Right.
I almost went down that path, because I was actually looking for a ayahuasca retreat. And at the time I was living in Florida, and I found one. And I literally was going to go. I was about to pay my money and everything. My wife told me, she said, you should do it. Now that's one dope thing about my wife. All these journeys I'm going on, she supports them. She doesn't hinder me. You lucky joker. She don't have a choice. If she did, she'd be gone. And so,
but see, y'all made the agreement.
But we made the agreement, right? So, but the way I am is, when I find something, I immerse myself in it so I can know everything about it.
Me too.
And so I don't care, and I don't care what people think about that. I'm going to dig it because I'm looking for the truth. And that's what made me leave the church, go to the Israelites, because I was looking for the truth. The Israelites had a little bit of truth. Then I went to the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ, which led me to the Sumerian text, which led me to the Illumia Lish and the Terror Papers and the Sumerian Kings
And we left
list.
out the Secret Book of John.
And the Secret Book of John. So it brought me to that. But then I moved on from that, because now I don't read no books, because I done seen it. And now if I want to access it, I can just go over there and talk to the beings that can give me all the information. As a matter of fact, you and I and everyone else, we doing it every night anyway. Every night you go to sleep, your soul ain't sleep. Your soul leaves its body and go do its thing. I recommend this show to you. If you never watched it, it's a show called Severance. It's a really neat show. Ben Stiller is the executive producer, but the basis of the show is these people signed up for this experimental reality drug, and basically what it does is the hours that they normally would be at work, their consciousness goes they go in an elevator to clock in for work. When they go at the elevator, their consciousness shuts off their life outside of work, and they have a different consciousness inside of work.
Wow.
So the whole show is about the innies, which are the people that's at work, discovering they have outies, which are the people outside of work. And so it's this tug of war between how do we navigate that. But needless to say, all of that is basically what's happening to us every night. Our consciousness is moving when consciousness doesn't sleep. It doesn't need sleep. So while your body is asleep, your consciousness is exploring the cosmos. It's exploring this entire construct. It's leaving the construct. I know because I've left the construct. I've left what we call Earth in the construct, and I'll get into that later. But with that being said, the out-of-body state took me to the absolute truth. And it's only one truth. And that truth is you exist beyond this. That's the truth. Right. That matters. All the rest of the shit don't matter. This is just a template. We in Iron Man suits walking around. I like to call these our Iron Man suit. And Tony Stark's is what's on the inside. So whenever we go to sleep, Tony Stark's is out of here. Iron Man suit is sleeping in the bed. Right? When Tony Stark's come back, charging. When the Tony Stark come back in his Iron Man suit, you go throughout your day. You living your life, the experience that you chose. We are gods living a human experience. That is simply put, it ain't no more simple than that. Anything more is just a bunch of confusion to keep you in fear. But it's really simple. We exist beyond this. We are God inhabiting a physical form for a physical experience.
And that's the hardest part for people to accept. You know, I was actually talking to a family member a couple of days ago about that very same thing. And a lot of people cannot accept it. And I ask them, okay, so you believe God is omnipresent, right? And she said, yeah. I said, you understand that omnipresent means in everything, right? She said, yeah. I said, so why can't you accept that you could that God that you say is omnipresent? Why can't you accept that it's inside of you? Well, no, we can't be God. You know, like everybody just wants to run from accepting that we are source, bro. Like, so because if you read in the secret book of John where it talks about the one, it breaks it down so good about the one, how it can't, there's nothing outside it to measure it. There's, like everything is contained within it. And we don't want to accept that. Like you and I right now, we're talking, but technically we're not talking. I'm talking to myself. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking to my reflection because we're all a reflection of source.
We're literally all particles of source. So if source, this is how I like to think of it. If source is not a humanoid being sitting somewhere dictating the affairs of the universe, the construct wasn't even made by source. The construct was made by 13 souls who came together and said, let's make this construct for all these souls to experience it. So, and that's a whole nother thing, and I can get into that, obviously, as we move forward in that
I got questions. We're going to get to it.
So we'll get into that. But source is like an energy. It's like, it is an energy. It's the highest frequency. It's love. Pure, agape, unconditional love. That's what source is. Right. So that energy is like trickling down to trillions of beings, not only on Earth or humans, but animals, alien species. All these are souls playing in different avatar bodies within the construct. Right. And this construct is one of an infinite amount of constructs, meaning you've made worlds on the other side. Right. I've seen the worlds that I've made on the other side. I've been in the office space that I work in on that side. I've seen all the different worlds and like half globes, little dome snow globes all over the office, and seen them all and looked inside and seen the worlds and seen the people and seen the cosmos inside that world. I seen this one from the outside. So
what does that look like? Like, okay, so
bro, I'm gonna send you a picture so you can see it, because Darius posted a picture and that's about as close to it. Okay, bet.
Well, no. What I'm asking. Let me tell you what I'm asking.
Okay, got it.
Like when you say you've seen this world, right? Like Are you literally
Yes.
in a place where you can look in and you can pinpoint what you want to
Bro,
look at on top of that?
I seen the continents, I seen all of it. It's flat. It's flat. It's a flat space, and then so basically, the construct is a big ass dome, and within it there are 12. Boom, boom,
Right.
boom, all the way down to level 1, which is us, level 1. Flat space. Everything else canopies over each other thing. So the second realm is the galactic realm. I've only been to 2 realms. I've only been here, walked around here, and I've been to the galactic realm, which is where all the alien races are. So all your Adians, Lyrians, Octurians, all those people live in the second realm, and then there's an Egyptian realm, and that's a period of time realm. So you get to see what Egypt really looked like, because what we think Egypt looked like is not what it looked like during that time. Because at one point, all the realms were accessible to each other. There was no divide. So everything was here. When you see Sasquatch, people talk about Bigfoot, all them was beings that were here. Everything was here, right here. In Lemuria, in Atlantis, all this was here. So something happened, and then something happened. There was a catastrophic event. I think it may have been the flood. I'm not sure what the event was, but there was an event that separated, where they said, okay, we're going to separate the realms. So now you can only get to them through the out-of-body state, right? You can only go to them through out-of-body. You can't physically go in your body. Well, it used to be a time where you could physically go. You could hop in a craft and fly through a portal and go into the next realm. So basically it's 12 realms, and it goes all in the 13th realm, because again, it's 13 souls that created this. And so the 13th realm is the realm that encapsulates all of the whole construct. So it's the shell of the construct. Yeah. So so that's how it's set up. We're realm 1. We're the lowest realm. It's realm 1. It's like the lowest realm of them all, right? And it's 3-dimensional. Everywhere else is more than 3 dimensions. Here you have things like duality and the 5 senses. Like, we only see 0.035% of the entire frequency spectrum. That's all we see with our naked eyes. We can only see through the light spectrum. So we can only see what light reveals to us. Outside of your body, you can see everything. There is nothing that you cannot see. There is no limits.
What do you mean there's nothing you cannot see? Like
the beings. For example, I'm gonna tell you right now. Let me go ahead and tell you, so you don't even have to ask. It's beings in this room right now watching over me that I can't see. But when I come out my body, I can see them. I've seen them in my room.
Right.
Just like you saw the Arcturian. You can't see that with your physical eyes unless that Arcturian comes down in the 3-dimensional for you to see him. You see what I'm saying? Him or her, whatever. But you can only see what the light will show you. You can't see beyond that. So there's a light spectrum that's greater than the sun. Like, the sun is bullshit. Like, straight. You are a source of light in your soul body. You're a source of light greater than the sun. Just so you know. But yeah. Go ahead, ask your question. Go ahead and ask. I want to make sure
I firmly believe that.
Yeah. It ain't no belief. I know it. I've seen the light emanate from me in my first the first testimony that you saw with Darius. If you recall, I was looking up for the sun and I couldn't see any sun. Well, it was later explained to me that that's because I was the source of the light, and it was brighter than anything I'd ever seen before in my life. And somebody explained to me, yes, that's because you were the source of the light that you were seeing. And I was like, oh shit, okay. Like, understand, the soul is an infinite, it is God. It is the God particle. It is God. You are the Godhead of your own soul. There is nothing greater than you. There's nothing, everything that the secret book of John is saying, he's describing the soul. He's not describing source. He's describing the soul. It's indescribable because there is nothing to describe it. There was no before our soul. There is no after our soul. There is no time there is no time on the other side. There's no past, present, and future. It's all things exist right now. So Darius kind of broke that down, and I'll let you go after this, but I want to make sure drive this point home about time, because
You good? Go for
once
it.
once you understand how time works, it fucking opens it up for everything else. So Darius actually had a being, his guide, explain to him what time was. So basically, this guide, it was a female. She laid out a bunch of cards on the table. She said, "This is how you guys view time. You hop from one event to the next event to the next event." And then she took all the cards and stacked them up so there was a vertical stack. And she said, "Look down." And she said, "That's how we view time." So all the events were all happening, of the past, present, and future, all happening right now. So we don't exist in time. So we just are beings. We just exist right now, all the time. There is no tomorrow or yesterday or 20,000 years from now or 50 million years before. None of that shit exists. It only exists for us because they needed to have that as part of the construct. So yeah, now you can. That part I don't know. And again, you have to have a conversation with one of the 13 souls who created it to really, or once you get there. This is the thing. As an out-of-body traveler, when you first get to the other side, you don't know everything because you haven't been there long enough. Like when you die. When you first die, it's confusion because you're like, wait, what? Like, what's happening? Like, my sister had an out-of-body experience. I mean, a near-death experience. When she was, I think, 17, 18 years old, she died on an operating table. She told me about it. And so she was confused at first, like, what's happening? Where am I at? Da, da, da. Because you haven't been there. The longer you stay on the other side, the more of the knowledge of the truth starts to come back to your remembrance. Remember, this is all about remembering. So when I travel on the other side, I don't know everything right away. As a matter of fact, it's kind of fuzzy at first. It might be kind of hazy. It might be like blurry. And then as you stay over there and command your consciousness to pull through, then things will start becoming more clear. That happened to me when I went to the halls of Amenti. So I was part of Darius's target group. So we were in a group and we would target places to travel out of body. Our first target was the halls of Amenti. So halls of Amenti, that's deep underneath the pyramids, which now we finding out the pyramid that you see is only the tip. It's a whole big ass structure underground. That happened because of the flood, the Great Deluge. Flood isn't just water, it's sediment and all that too. So all that mud and sand and everything covered up what the pyramids is. And now they know that because they did that sonogram deep in the ground. That shit go miles into the earth because at that time, that structure was actually one structure that was like 3 points to it. So like that. So we just seen the 3 points sticking out of the ground. And so we target the halls of Amenti. So I remember in that experience, when I first came out, I was at my father's house. And I knew it was my dad. I was physically at my father's house. My soul was. And it just went dark. And when it went dark, I kind of got shook a little bit. So I said, take me to the halls of Amenti. And as soon as I said that in my mind, the next thing I know, I was in this marble. That shit was beautiful. It was like marble floors and these big ass columns. And it was like podiums everywhere with books on them. And like books everywhere. And it was candle lit. And it was like kind of dimly lit, but it was beautiful. Like the marble had this, you know how marble is white and then it's got gray lines in it? Yeah. Well, the lines were gold. So it was white marble, but the lines in it was gold. The columns was white with gold lines. It was fucking beautiful. And I remember walking up to a podium to look at a book and the pages to start flipping. And then it went to one thing and it was a letter written in a language. I have no idea what language it was in. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I looked to my right and I could see my body sleeping on my couch in the distance. And I was like, oh shit, that's me. And as I zoomed in, I came back into my body. And so that was like a cool ass experience. Yeah. So like, and I'll be real, like I told myself whenever I started this journey, I'll never lie about things I experienced. So I haven't experienced long stuff or like where I haven't even had an opportunity. I had one opportunity to talk to a being, but I fucked it up because I was telling them to move. That was when I saw the Lyrans. I went to the second heaven or second realm, the galactic realm, and four Lyrans, the man body with the lion head or cat head, four of them came down and presented themselves to me And it shook me because I had never seen one before. I mean, rightfully so. But I knew they couldn't harm me because of what the teachings of Darius. So when they came, I said, hey, move. And I did my hands like this, move. And they just stepped to the side and let me keep going. No, nothing can harm you on the other side. No soul, there is one law on the other side. And it's just one. There is no other. Everything else, you can do whatever you want. If you want to build a world with you on the beach with 15 butt-naked women, if you find 15 souls that want to be them butt-naked women and want to enjoy that, you can build that. Real talk. Like I'm being real.
That's funny.
I'm being real because people need to get out of these religious foolishness. They have sex on the other side. Like,
oh, okay. So the idea of morality. Yeah, I got you.
Ain't no morality. There's only one rule. You cannot harm, entrap, or lie to another soul. And it makes so much sense because you can't harm another soul unless that soul believes it to be so. And what soul is going to walk around believing another soul can harm it when it knows it can't? Unless it believes it to be so. You can't lie to another soul because every soul knows everything you know.
Right.
We all got all of the knowledge of the truth. So even if I came to you in soul form and said, on da 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 da, you could look right through that and be like, no, that's not true. I know that's not true. Even if I tried to lie to you, I couldn't. So you can't do it. You can't harm or confine another soul. You can't. This is how I know there is no such thing as hell. The only people that experience hell are people that believe hell to be a real thing. So you'll experience it because you've created that, you've manifested that through your own creation, right? But there's no place, physical place called hell that people have to go to. It's people that will go. And Darius explained this to me. He said it'll be people that'll go to hell because they believe that to be a place. And they'll live in that torment. They'll experience that torment. They'll get tired of it and say, yeah, I'm out. Yeah, take me out of here. Because you can command whatever you want. So if I'm in hell and I'm like, yeah, this is some bullshit. Hey man, take me out of here.
And you know, that just confirmed why the Pharisee, what Yeshua said when he said, you know the way, but you prevent them from entering in. Yeah. Because when people have that type of understanding, the fear is taken away. The fact that you said you can come, see, there's a difference between commanding in the church, whether it was because I studied Hebrew Israelites, I studied Catholicism, I studied Jehovah's Witness material, I studied several different things up under Christianity. And one thing that I notice is you're always begging.
You're always having to ask.
You're always pleading. You're always asking for permission. You don't have the ability to command, but everybody walk around and say, there's power. There's power. I got power in the name of Jesus. But the first ones to holler everything is demonic. You see what I'm saying? Oh my God, stay away from me with them. Like if they saw me with my crystals right now, with my crystals on. Oh my God, you got them things around your necklace. A demon gonna choke you or something stupid like that. Because they're afraid of everything. But the soul on the other side, as you said, knows there's nothing to fear. I don't ask, I command. That's a whole different move.
Why would God need to ask another God something? Why would I need to ask, if I'm on the other side, why I need to ask you for anything? If I can literally manifest instantly whatever I want. Like I said, I wasn't joking. If I wanted to create a world where I live on a beach with 15 butt naked women, and that's all we do for an eternity if I choose. If I find 15 souls that agree and want to have that experience with me, I can do what I want to do. Not saying that, I'm just using that as an example, the most extreme, and I don't even, funny part about it, I don't even know if that's an extreme example. There's so many constructs. You got to understand, you personally have created an infinite amount of constructs. Just your soul. Now imagine 8 billion souls that's just here on Earth. Not to mention the souls that's in the second realm, third, fourth, fifth, all the way up to the 13th, and the souls outside of the construct. There's an infinite amount of souls with an infinite amount of realities that are being built by them all the time. So because there is no time, you ain't in a workshop like, oh, I can only build 5. You can build as many as you want at the same time. Like if you say, I want 15 worlds at the same time and project my consciousness in all 15 at the same time, you can do that. What's going to stop you?
I mean, it makes sense, bro. In this human shell, we multitask.
This is like fucking
the lowest vibration of it all.
This is the lowest vibration that you could live in right here. This is the lowest vibration. The human being, your physical nature is the lowest vibration you can live in. A soul can live in. So imagine we can do little shit out here. Imagine what you can do when there's no limits. There's nothing stopping you. You can do whatever you want.
So the
and there's
question
no
becomes
morality
this then.
to it. So yeah.
So then the question becomes this for me. If that's the case, then how do you take that access and bring it here? Is that even possible?
As far as like
meaning the limitlessness.
Because this form is a low vibration. You can't. This physical form was designed to only operate in this 3-dimensional realm.
Got you.
You see what I'm saying? It was designed for this low vibrational realm that we live in. 3D garbage ass realm. This is hell. If you want to call something hell, this is it. Because this is the lowest form in the lowest vibration in the entire construct. So your physical was designed to operate here. This is why it's limited. You already limited by 5 senses. I already told you.
Right.
Sight, touch, smell, hear. What was the other one? Taste. That's it.
Exactly.
That's all you get. On the other side, it ain't no limit to nothing. If you want to taste a steak, it's going to be the greatest steak you ever tasted. Because you don't even have the same type of taste buds on that side that you have here. So you see what I'm saying? So
what do you eat? Have you eaten over there?
No. I ain't never done that. No. And you don't have to eat. I mean, because real talk, you don't have to eat. You don't have to.
I was just wondering what that
the soul don't need nothing. It's God.
Right.
We just talked about.
I know that sounds like a dumb question, but I wanted to ask.
No. I love that question. But this helps us further your point with the secret book of John. Like when he's describing the all, nigga, that's you. And so the all don't need nothing because there's nothing that the all would need. Right. There's nothing to describe the all because there is nothing that precedes your soul. Nothing.
So how do we
your soul
get
wasn't
to the
created,
place?
by the way. So just so you know, your soul wasn't created. Your soul has always been. There was never a time that there wasn't your soul. You see what I'm saying? So yeah.
So it's really been that it's just that we've been here in several incarnations. So your body is the only thing that gets recreated, but the soul is constantly living out.
The Antoine you are right now is the same one on the other side. Same guy. But you can manifest yourself as a woman. You can manifest yourself as white. You can manifest yourself as an alien. You can choose whatever flesh suit you want to put on. That's when you make your agreement. That's what I like to call it. When you make your agreement to come to the construct, you decide what you want to do, what realm you want to be in, what body you want to put yourself in, who your parents gonna be, so you and other souls connect and say, hey, we're gonna have this experience this time. And then we'll say, hey, we're gonna come together and have a different experience next time.
So then, I'm telling you, this is really getting interesting, right? So whenever I listen to you and what you're saying, it even confirms more of what Yeshua was saying, like whenever he said, seek ye first the kingdom, right? He said, don't worry about tomorrow. All of this stuff, I understand why now, like, don't worry, because there's already been an agreement made. What's going to happen is going to happen. You don't have to worry about it. Trust the process. You know what I'm saying?
And if you worry about it, it ain't going to matter anyway, because the agreement is still the agreement. Whatever your life is, what you're going through right now, you agreed to go through that before you was ever born. So you can be mad about it, or you can just go through it with grace. Don't matter, because you still got to go through it. So it don't matter.
So when you're finding out about the terms or the details of your agreement, so to speak, do you know if they can be altered?
Yes.
So for example, let me break it down where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna front to you. Like I do. I'm going to get over there, right? This neuropathy, this stuff that's going on in my body. I understand I decided to go through it. But I want to know, like, what I really want to know is, did I agree to go through it for the rest of my
life,
my time?
So let me tell you, this is gonna fuck you up. No, you can change it, but you changing it was part of the agreement. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
This is the level of control that you have. If you change it, whatever you just called it,
the neuropathy,
the neuropathy, if that changes, that is what you already agreed to happen. So this shit is already pre-planned. There is no free will because
So really, we are following the script.
That's it.
So
we are.
Okay, so if I'm putting it this way, this is the way I'm understanding it basically. We start out as the character, supporting role. This is when we don't know who we are on the journey to remembering. And then when we start to remember, we become the lead actor. And when we become the lead actor, we also ascend to the director. But Source is the one who sponsored the production.
Yes and no. I'm gonna say the only reason I'm saying no is because you're breaking these out into different entities. It ain't. It's
No, not in different entities. What I'm saying is you yourself. So if you don't know who you are, you're a supporting actor.
No. Okay, stop. So let me break that down. You never a supporting. You always the lead. Now, you may be out of remembrance that you the lead.
That's what I'm talking about.
But you still not even the supporting cast, even when you out of remembrance. Everything moving around you is moving around you. You are the centerpiece of your existence here. You are the centerpiece. Everything else around you is part of it.
So they've been lying whenever they say the world don't revolve around you?
All the way lying. The world revolves around because you have created your world. You agreed to come here. You agreed for this person to be your wife. You didn't agree for your wife to be you. You agreed for your wife to be your wife. So she's still outside of you. This is gonna go back to the scripture you just said. The kingdom of God, seek ye first the kingdom of God. That's what it said, right? Where did Jesus say the kingdom of God was?
Right, he said it's in you.
Boom.
Right.
So everything is in you. It's all part of you. It's the soul. The kingdom of God is your soul. That's the kingdom of God, right?
But few find it.
And few find it because few go to the other side to get it. Again, this is what I found. It wasn't out of a book. I saw it. So now I know where the kingdom is. I know who I am. It ain't a belief. And I'm going to be launching a video today or tomorrow on just that. I don't believe shit. I don't believe nothing. I know.
Right.
I know what we are. I know what you are. I know what I am. If you don't remember, that's your business. And that's what I tell people. If you don't remember, cool. That's your business. You can't tell me what I know. I know.
Right.
It's not and I can say this 1,000 times. I know. I know what this is. I know what this whole setup is. I know that, see my hand here? The only reason they don't go through this wall is because the frequency of the wall doesn't match the frequency of my hand. In soul form, I can make the frequency of my soul hand go through this fucking wall because it now matches the frequency of the wall. How the fuck do you think I flew through the ceiling to the second heaven? I literally did like this and flew through the ceiling, and the next thing I know, I was in the stratosphere, looking at stars above and the earth below. Because when you in soul form, you are in complete control of all the frequencies because you are God and God is you. So you are in complete control of all frequencies. The only reason you right now can't stick your hand through the wall beside you is because in the three-dimensional form, that frequency of that wall is going to repel the frequency of your hand. That is the only reason you can't put your hand through a wall.
But there's a place in your mind that you can connect those two, though, right? Because the thing is, I guess it seems like.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead. Because I think you was about to hit on something that I think I know where you're going. Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it. Let's just go for it.
Well, no, I think, and see, this is the part of it. People, and this is the hard part of it. When you go to the other side and you come back, you're like, fuck, I have so much power. Why can't I bring that here? Well, it's by design. For now. Mm-hmm. And also for now, because there's coming a time where the construct is going to end. And from what I've been told by people who have been shown it, is kind of like the Bible says we're going to receive new bodies. Our soul and our body merge and become one, and everything we can do in the spiritual, we now can do in the physical form. So we can fly. So we can fucking do it. You can walk through a wall in your physical body, because the truth is your soul is physical. Matter of fact, your soul is more physical than your physical body. Like, I could touch, when I'm out of my body, I can grab the door handle. It's not like I'm a ghost. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And that's interesting that you say that, because like when I do a lot of my breath work, Bro, I do. I connect more with my soul body than anything. I can feel it almost as much as I can my regular body. But I guess it's like the question that I'm trying to get to is like, where do you tie it in as far as what you can do here? Because I mean, there are things we literally can do here, like
powers,
you know, yeah, the powers and stuff. So, is there any place of training over there?
Okay, so that I'm not gonna give a definitive answer because I don't know. I've never asked that, right?
Okay.
But what I can say from what I understand is when you go over there and you talk to your spirit guides, it does open up certain abilities in your field because you're bringing downloads back. You're bringing stuff back from the other side. And it's not this whole, oh, you're bringing demonic spirits. It's the astral projection world. They be like, oh, you don't be careful. You don't bring something back from the other side. You can't bring a soul. You can't bring a spirit back or a soul back because a soul has to agree to come back. And they're not doing that.
Okay, see, and I'm glad you said that because I've heard people who talk about astral travel and they'll say like, you know, you might bring something back. Or a lot of people just speak fear and, oh, the soul can get lost and this person got trapped or whatever the case may be. What are your thoughts on that?
All that's bullshit. And you got to remember, the way this thing is designed is to keep you in slavery through fear. So the astral projection niggas, the love and light niggas, anything that somebody's teaching you that is projecting fear or that's rooted in fear, throw it in the trash. Because the only reason they do that fear is to keep you locked into a certain thing, right? You're not bringing nothing back that ain't already here. That's what I'm saying. Like when they say, oh, you bring a spirit back. No, these beings, these souls are already in your room every night before you ever did that. They've been here. You just can't see it. So back to your original question. Yes, there are things you're going to downloads you bring back into your physical body. Now, the health of your body matters. This is why I drink salt water a lot. It helps magnetize your body. That's a huge thing. I put salt in my water. I try to stay as healthy. I mean, I'm not a health nut, but I try to stay as healthy as possible. But I eat pork again. Fuck what they niggas talking about. I eat. I'm back on my bacon gang. I will kill a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. I don't care about that shit because it don't matter. Like, it don't. Like, what are we trying to say? This is the thing, Antoine. And I have to be careful how I say this because I don't want to think people, what are we trying to protect? What are you trying to hold on to? Nigga, this ain't home.
An idea.
This ain't home. This ain't even where we supposed to be. We just here to fucking play this video game until the video game stop. And then we fucking going back home. Like, so when people are like, I want to heal myself. And I get it because you don't want to go through what you're going through. I've been through some of that, right? Like, I done had health problems and stuff, and you be like, fuck, I don't want to go through this. But what I did was I said, okay, cool. If I go through this, what do I need to learn from it for my experience here? Because what I'm going through from a physical standpoint don't matter because this fucking thing is going to be in the ground at some point anyway. It don't fucking matter. Like, it don't matter. Right. People like trying to live a long time for what? It don't matter how long you want to live. Because you've already agreed to the date that you're going to die anyway. You've already agreed to it.
Right.
You've already fucking said it. This is why when people are like, well, why? And this is a main reason why people are so confused about God. Well, why would God let children die? Ain't no God letting nobody do nothing. Those children had an agreement. They are a soul. They not children on the other side. They're fucking full-grown 30-year-old soul.
Right.
When I say 30-year-old, I mean like a mature soul. It's a soul. It's not a child. My daughter is 5. She's not a child. She's a soul inhabiting a child's body.
Exactly.
People are so wrapped up in the body, they don't understand how meaningless it really fucking is.
Dang.
It don't matter.
Well, I mean, I know for me, like I said, I definitely ask because I feel like I'm a Paul, so to speak. Like when I look at my life, just like how Paul, he was Hebrew of Hebrews, chief of the sinners, you know, basically had people killed behind, you know, the belief or for believing what they believed, and he believed something different. But he said he had a thorn in his side. Like he did all them miracles, but he had a thorn in his side.
Yeah.
And it feels like for me, what I'm dealing with, that's like my thorn, because for me to practice Reiki, you know, the scripture that's been messing with me is the one that says, physician, heal thyself. Because it blows my mind. I literally, you know, I do Reiki and energy work. I'm talking about, bro, I've done energy work. Matter of fact, that person that ended up causing me and you, I did some energy work. Her all the way in Charlotte, me in Alabama. She had some stuff going on. I used my crystals and stuff, and I was able to tell where the energy was, move it and all of that stuff. So I'm saying, like, to do all these great things and then still have a personal ailment, it makes me question, like,
don't think of it like that, because remember, the energy you're using to do this stuff for people, where the fuck you think that energy coming from?
Right.
It's coming from you.
Right.
So stop depleting your energy, or keep depleting your energy. It don't fucking matter. You've already made the choice to do what you're gonna do anyway. But I will say this: go to the other side, see if you can get that energy replenished in the physical, because when you go over there, it's nothing but pure love, and that energy is so powerful. When you bring that energy, you radiating as a soul from being on the other side, because you're doing it every night anyway. But maybe because you're not doing it consciously, you ain't bringing as much energy back as you could be. So go over there, find out, and bring that shit back. Maybe you go over there and they say, no, your agreement was that this is gonna be you.
Right.
And then you can live
That's
with
all
it,
I
and
wanna
it's
know.
cool. And it's cool. Whether that happens for you or not, it don't matter. You've already agreed to whatever it's gonna be.
Right. True that.
You feel what I'm saying?
It's happening. Yeah.
And so
yeah.
this is what. Listen, I ain't trying to stay here longer than I need to be.
Right.
I'm just gonna keep I'm gonna keep it a being with you. I ain't trying to stay here to 100 and something years old. Fuck out of here. That shit is trash. I don't want to be here and be 100 years old and be walking around. Fuck all that.
Right. Right.
Get me gone. Let me go back home. I got people over there. I got people waiting for me. Like, what we talking about?
And you know what? I agree with you, because one thing I can say, even though I didn't have the experience that you've had in that fullness, right? But whenever I did understand that I am divine source, that you know, that there was more to the whole thing. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Death didn't, like, the whole idea of death changed for me. I will keep it 100 with you. The only reason I'm still here is for my children. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I need to be here for them, but I honestly don't necessarily care to be here. And it's not like I hate the world, hate life, none of that stuff. No. But I just know, man, when I had that knowing that I was it was like, nothing can destroy me, nothing can harm. Like, what am I here for?
So let me tell you, I'm glad you brought this up so we can have this conversation. After my first 2 or 3 experiences, I didn't want to be here no more. And kids wasn't enough to keep me here either. I ain't care, because I know they're not really my kids.
Right.
They're not my kids. They're souls inhabiting a kid's body who just happen to come through my line. They don't belong to me.
Right.
And I ain't gonna give a fuck when I leave. I'm not gonna be sad that they here and I'm not. Like, I'm off. I'm gone. Like, my mom left, she gone. Like, she not sitting around crying over me being here. She over there happy. Like, oh, he over there having his experience. And when he come back, we gonna connect and blah, 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 blah. It's gonna be like he never left, because they not over there waiting on time. There is no time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Your mother,
right.
whenever she passed, she not sitting there waiting day by day. I can't wait till Antoine get here so we can talk. Nigga, she building worlds.
Right.
She ain't thinking about your ass, because she knows it's gonna be like, when you die, for her, it's gonna feel like you just showed up. It ain't gonna feel like she been sitting around for 20 years waiting for Antoine, because there's no time on that side. So, like, the first few times I had that shit, I was like, because see, in this, you will learn that 2 things. One, there's a point of no return. So, at certain places, if you go, you're gonna willingly know, if you go through that portal, you ain't coming back. It's over. Your body just gonna be dead, because that's a point of no return. So it's like a place.
But how what does a point of no return mean?
It severs that electromagnetic connection between your body and your soul. So it's certain portals.
And it takes you where, though? Like, is that
That
still
to the
within
essence.
the?
No.
Oh,
That
okay,
to
okay.
you dead. Like, so you're dead at that point.
Well,
So
no, no,
your
no.
soul,
But what I'm saying is, you said your soul knows not to go that far.
yeah, your soul will know. Like, that's a conscious decision. If you decide to go through that portal, you gonna know. If I go through this portal, I ain't coming back. You gonna know that.
Okay.
That's one thing. And when you say where do you go out of the construct, wherever you want to go at that point, you've done. Like, you've made a conscious decision. You ain't coming back here.
Okay.
And then the other one is you could be offered to stay on the other side. So that's happened to even Darius. If you listen to his videos, he tell you that's happened to him. He was offered plenty of times to stay over there. And if you say yes, and it's a conscious decision. You know full well the future of what's going to happen. If you say yes, the future of what's going to happen if you say no. You already know that because you're on the other side. At that point in my life, had they offered, or had I found the point of no return, or they offered to make me stay, I would have stayed. I know I would have. That's where I was. Because on that
You
side,
enjoyed it that much.
Enjoyed it. Nigga, that is the essence of who we are. This is
Yeah.
fucking like, you ever stepped in dog shit?
Yeah.
That's what this is. That's what this
It
whole
stinks.
existence is. That's what this whole existence is. You step in dog shit, it stank, you can't get it off your shoe, no matter how.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Somebody at my door. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. My bad.
Oh no, you good. Yeah, bro. I would if that had been offered to me, I would not have come back. I know that for a fact. I knew it. I had already put it in my head. I ain't coming back. Because this place is trash. And once you know that the people around you not gonna miss you, will they miss you here? Sure. But you ain't thinking about that. You ain't sitting over there crying because they gonna miss you, right?
Right.
Because when they die, it's gonna feel like they just stepped out of the video game and they've been with you the whole time. You see what I'm saying? So they can live 100 years, but when they die, it's gonna feel like no time has passed for you. You feel what I'm saying?
Here's my question. How do the souls enter into the construct? Have you seen that?
Through water, through the sea of forgetfulness. So you pass through the water, you go into the soul. The minute that egg and that sperm do this, they've already showed it to you. Science already showed you a video of it. When that sperm go in the egg, there's a light that go around the whole thing. That's the spark. That's the
Right.
soul entering into the egg. So when people say, "Oh, that's not a real baby," yes, it's a real life because that soul is in there. So and then that soul starts the process of replicating cells and becoming a baby, blah 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 blah, and then you come out and then you live a life. It's the same.
So ain't nobody over there plugged up to some machine or nothing?
No. That shit is all for movies, bro. You literally go and listen. The fucked up part about it is when you see the other side, you gonna feel like this ain't at all what I thought it was. Like, this motherfuckers walking around with tablets. They got like a little tablet and they got your soul records on it. And they be like, yeah, we can pull it. And then you made an agreement. You walk into a room and they got all this technology shit. You got to remember, this is all. Where you think technology come from? It come from our manifestation. They just are light. They are just so far ahead of us from a technology standpoint. Like, you'll go in a room and it'll be a screen. Your life review is done on a screen. It's like a biomechanical screen, and you go and you watch your whole thing in a blink of an eye. You watch it go through, have to feel all this stuff and feel what you did to people, right and wrong, and then it's over. You forget yourself and you move on to whatever you gonna do next. So, like,
wow.
People think the other side is motherfuckers walking around in, well, they do walk around in robes.
White robes.
A lot of time they do.
Okay.
A lot of time they do. But you don't have to. You do whatever you want. You can walk around in a naked if you want. Like, it don't matter. Like, nobody's looking at you like, oh, he naked. Like, nobody even thinking about that shit. Like, it's not. It's like you see beings and you see stuff that look crazy. Like, you might see a dragon or a giant. And you'd be like, oh shit. And you see a dragon, and them some of the nicest, wisest beings there are.
Bro, see, you hitting
and
stuff.
You looking at it and it look like a monster.
See, what's interesting is I look forward to getting over there a few times because there are things that I've experienced in meditation. You know what I'm saying? Even down to like standing in front of a dragon. It seemed like this big, huge wall, right? But it was actually a dragon. And the only reason I knew was because it opened its eyes so I could see it, and then it closed them back. You know, there's certain things that I've just experienced.
See,
and this ain't no psychedelic stuff. This is just natural meditation.
The only difference is you're experiencing it as an observer. This is the difference between that. It's the difference between dreams or dimensional spaces, what they really dreams are called. You're mostly experiencing that as an observer. In the OBE state, you can touch it, you can feel it, you can shake the dragon's hand if you want to. You can feel it's physical. It's just as physical, if not more, than what you are experiencing right now. It's physical as you touch your desk. How physical that feel? On the other side, it feels just as physical, more so.
Bro,
I felt the texture of the carpet that I was walking around in the office when I was outside of the construct. I could feel the texture on my feet. It's like a Persian rug. Like you could feel everything because you don't have no limitations on your senses. So yeah, but go ahead.
No, I really do. I'm looking forward to getting over there. I know one of my challenges definitely is some of it is noise, because the area where I live, man, I got train people, loud cars.
Do you use headphones?
I live downtown. I'm telling you, it's just loud.
Gotcha.
It's ridiculous.
Gotcha. You need to you gotta get you some of the noise canceling Jones. But like, listen, and then look, the main thing is put yourself in sleep paralysis. Stay as still as you can for as long as you can. And when you feel like you just had enough and like, stay still past that. And your soul knows what to do. Like the time I came out and walked around my house, I didn't pull my soul out. I just laid there and stayed still. And my soul, I felt my soul raise up out of my body like this, about 10 inches, and glide to the edge of the couch. And I stood up like that. And the next thing I know, I was out. And I'm looking around like, what the fuck? I was like, oh shit. And I look down, I see myself sleeping. And I walked past myself and walked down the hallway. And I was about to walk out the door. And a shadow being walked in my door in front of me. And I was like, fuck is you? In my head, I'm thinking, who are you? And why are you walking in my house? Because again, when you first come out, you kind of hazy, like what? And so the shadow being walked in and walked down the hallway into our bedroom. And so I followed it. My plan was to leave my house and go explore. But when I seen that being, I was like, nigga, who is you? And why are you in my house? Because I had never seen a being in my house. So I followed it, walked down the hallway, and it stood. And I'm looking at the edge of my bed right now. It stood up at the edge of my bed, looking over my wife, just standing over looking at her. And I tapped it on the shoulder, physical, felt it, tapped it on the shoulder. And it just turned around. It didn't have a face. It just was a shadow. But in that moment, I wasn't conscious enough to think, reveal yourself. So if you see a shadow being, just say, reveal yourself. You don't got to ask. You tell reveal yourself. And it's got to do it. It has to do it. Has to reveal itself. So it may not be, it might scare you what it looked like, who knows, but it has to reveal itself. So I tapped on the shoulder and I looked at it and it looked at me and I was like, oh, okay. And I just walked out the room because at this point I don't have fear. So now if I get to the other side, I don't be scared of what I see because I done seen stuff already. So once you've seen stuff.
So let me ask you this. With that being said, like, okay, I'm trying to figure out how to ask this question. With what you know now, with what you know and have experienced, what's your perspective? Not from a morality standpoint. I'm talking about like, okay, when people say demons and stuff like that, right? Like people, okay, what I'm saying is
I got
a person who says they saw a demon manifest in front of them. Or people say they feel like there's an evil spirit somewhere. What do you say to that now?
That's your own manifestation. Because there's nothing evil. It's only beings that are so far outside of love that they seem evil. And what you may think is a demon may not be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's because most of the people think of demons because they have the belief systems they do, right? Because you wouldn't know what a demon was if you wasn't a Christian. You wouldn't, like, nobody fucking, like, if you wasn't religious, if it wasn't no religion, nobody would be calling these things demons. As a matter of fact, and I wanted to touch on this anyway, if you go back to the time where all things were open, the Anunnaki and all these, people would have saw these giant beings and would have said them demons today. But no, that's just Enlil, or that's just Inky, or that's just Ninhursag, or that's just da-da-da. You would have called that a demon today, right?
Right.
And then you'll see stuff that you think is an angel and be like, oh, that's an angel because it's white and they got white hair. And no, it's just a Pleiadian. It's just a Pleiadian from the Pleiades. It's not a good and evil thing. Now, is there evil in the world? I don't like to call it evil. What I call it is outside of love. So any being has the capability to go so far outside of love. This is where you get child molesters, murderers, rapists.
Right.
Now, this is the part that's gonna fuck most people up, because you got your built-in belief system and you believe in that morality issue. Then people ain't going to hell. I'm sorry. I don't care what they did. Now, the hell they have to experience in their life review, when they have to experience everything they've done wrong to every single person they've done it to, and they have to experience it from the perspective of the person they did it to. So if I came up and I shot you, I gotta feel what you felt in that moment. Not just the physical, but the hurt of being shot, the physicality of being shot and dying. I gotta feel all that, and that feeling is times 100. So I gotta physically feel that. My soul has to physically feel that. And we all gonna have moments like that. It's people I done wrong or hurt their feelings, like hurt my ex-wife feelings. I gotta feel exactly what she felt when I die. And
So
I'm
hold
gonna
on.
feel it times 10.
Hold on. So let's say anybody who I did wrong to, and I genuinely felt like that was wrong. I made it my mission not to go back, do that type of stuff again, ever. Do I still have to you're saying I still have to re-experience it, even though I felt shame here?
That's fine. But the thing is, there's no eternal judgment about it. You gotta feel it. You gotta.
But I'm saying, if I felt my remorse here, I gotta do it again.
You didn't feel enough remorse. You didn't feel it from their perspective. You only felt it from yours. You ain't never gonna feel enough remorse from what somebody else felt, because you don't know what they felt. You only know your perspective of what they felt. Like, if I come up and punch you in the face, I can feel sorry, but I don't know what that felt like for your fucking face. You know what I'm saying?
But that's also based on, I imagine that's also weighted on original intent, right?
Ain't no way.
So what I'm saying is this, right? So what I'm saying is, a brother who shot a man and killed him for breaking into his house. He killed him. He still got to feel that in his review?
You still got to feel that in your review. Because it isn't about right or wrong. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. There ain't no right or wrong on the other side.
You're just feeling the weight of your actions.
You got to feel what you did from the perspective of that person. Good and bad. So all the good things you done, you're going to feel that too. From their perspective. So basically, you get to feel the weight of your creation. You get to feel, because that's really what it is. It's the weight of your experience. The whole experience, the entire experience.
Right, here. But I create pain for you though. You see what I'm saying? It's my experience, but I created pain for you. So I still have to feel the weight of my creation.
Your creation, whatever you created for others and for yourself. You got to feel it from both your perspective. Now listen, you done something wrong to somebody, you gonna still feel it again from your perspective. So you gonna feel the hurt. You gonna feel how that what you just said. I felt bad about it. You gonna feel that again. But you got to feel what they felt too, so you can understand both perspectives. Because remember what we're doing here. We're here to experience that which we are not, so that we can take that information and take it back to source. That's what we're doing.
Bro, that is so freaking wild though, because a part of me just feels like, okay, you don't have to care about what you do. But at the same time, one thing I will say is, when it comes to knowledge like this, it does require a certain level of maturity. Because even though we do know, like, there's no, quote, good or bad per se, that don't mean we want to go out and just kill people.
But see, this is why I bring up the point that you're going to have to experience it. Because the human mind is thinking, okay, well, it's cool. I'll just experience that and I'll kill people and just have that. No. You got to it's an infinite amount times worse than what you did here. If I smacked you, I'm not gonna feel the smack you felt here. I'm gonna feel the smack felt from around the world in my soul.
Wow.
Like, you see what I'm saying? So you want to do the right things. You want to be a good person. You want to treat people the way you want to be treated, because ultimately you going to feel whatever you did to people, both good and bad. Now, again, if you was really great to this person, you gave a homeless man $20, you going to feel how good that felt for that homeless man times 1,000. So
but you know what's crazy about that though, Corey? But what's wild about that is this though. Again, we know we made the agreement. If I agreed to be a serial killer my whole life, my whole review is going to be pure pain. But here's the wild part about that. We need, unfortunately, I'll say this, unfortunately, we need the pain to keep things going. Because it's almost like, okay, so if you, just let me finish. Say for example, you want to get muscles, you gotta go through the pain to get the muscles. So unfortunately, it's like we need this bad stuff to keep happening. So somebody gotta agree to keep.
So let me break that down for you right quick. How do you know good if you don't know bad?
Right.
That's like I said. People like to go around and around. Not you. I'm just saying in general. People like to go around and around circle with philosophical debate and whatever. It's really that simple. The source needs to know what it is when it ain't source.
Right.
Because when you on the other side, you can't do none of this stuff. So the only way you know what this stuff is if you come here and experience it. So this is why I say people can't understand this concept, because most people think they good.
And they ain't.
You ain't been good always. No. You might have been the murderer in another lifetime. This is why I don't subscribe to racism and get all hung up on slavery and all that shit. You might have been the white guy that was whipping the slaves back in the past life.
Right.
Because the source needs to know what type of person that is. Because on the other side, that person don't exist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that person don't exist on the other side, because you can't be that person, because you can't harm another soul. So just like the source needs to know what it feels like to be a great person. Now, that part you are on the other side, but so you feeling both. That's the balance. So source ain't always getting a bunch of negative information. That's the balance.
Right.
Because frequencies do this, up and down, positive, negative, positive. So it's got to feel the good stuff too. But the bad stuff is important because it has no concept of that, because that does not exist on that side. We create that here. Good and evil, I create them both. We create them here.
Right. Isaiah 45.
We create that here. Good and evil we create here, because here is the only place you have that polarity. You know what I'm saying? On the other side, you can't do evil. It ain't possible. There is not a possibility to hurt somebody unless that soul believes you can do it. And like I said, what soul gonna walk around like, I think Antoine could kill me on this side when I know you can't? Get the fuck out of here. Ain't gonna happen. Coming here is to experience that which we are not, right?
Right.
And in order to know
and
what
we gotta
we
deal
are,
with time.
Yeah, all that got here. We don't got to deal with that no other place here. And so this is why people have such a problem with this concept, this duality, this morality concept, is because they think they're good people. Everybody think they good. Nobody thinks they're bad except for the people who actually do bad stuff. Well, in another lifetime, you was that person. You wasn't always the good guy in the story. I guess that's basically the point. And so people want to be the good guy all the time, but the truth is you wasn't always good. I know people who've had out-of-body experience, they told me they were shitty people in past lives, like murderers and stuff like that. So it's par for the course. Again, this is a video game. None of it's even real. Even the bad shit you doing here, it ain't real. You ain't hurting nothing but a physical flesh suit. You ain't hurting their soul. You can't do nothing to that. So
okay, so now that you just said that though, that's very interesting. I wonder how much of that Bible's been messed with, because I know there's a script where Yeshua said, "Fear him who can kill the body and the soul, but you can't kill the soul." You
can't kill the soul. Again, this is why let me tell you. When we was going down our road, I ran into I opened a little door of that, where even a lot of the stuff that was written about Yeshua is not what he said
Fabricated.
or has been fabricated. Like, I don't believe he died on no cross.
Right, I agree.
I believe he got married, and again, I'm trying to confirm that still. The only thing I've been able to confirm about Yeshua at this point is that he comes from the line of the 13th soul. So the 13th soul that helped build a construct, he come from that line. That's all I know right now. I haven't seen him, none of that. So if I do, I would definitely ask.
Well, I didn't get a chance to ask, but again, I've connected with Yeshua.
That's what I'm saying.
It was in meditation.
That's what I'm saying.
And I mean, bro, this was real. Like, this was real. And he showed me a symbol that allows you to do some kind of manipulation with time. And I came across it in another book that confirmed it. And I got to go back and study it. It's funny that things like this is not at the big major forefront of my consciousness. Not that I don't want to do it. It's more of, I know there's something I got to do before I get to that. But I know it's still some mysteries to be unlocked, bro.
Oh yeah, bruh. We don't know shit. We don't know. And listen, I've been on that other side, and I still don't know everything there is to know. Darius been more times than anybody I know, and he told me straight up. He said it's still places he hasn't unlocked yet within the construct. Within the construct. And he's been taken outside of the construct. So there's places within the construct he hasn't even unlocked yet. He said,
wow.
Like, there's places I haven't even got access to yet. And he's been doing this for 10, 15 years. I've just been doing it for a little over a year. And I haven't even had that many experiences within that time. But, you know, I had about 7, 8 experiences. Like, you know, it's some people that come out their body and they able to do this shit every night they go to sleep if they want. There's certain abilities. Right. And again, that's the abilities part.
And that's an interesting thing, because I have an aunt who's super religious, and she actually told me she was able to come out of her body. Like, she used to do it. Because I was messing with her. I was like, Auntie, I said, I'm gonna be honest, I said, I miss the old you. And of course, you know, people who in religion, they don't like that, right? Yeah. But she knew I was coming from a respectful place. Yeah. I said, because when we were younger, you moved off your intuition at a whole different level. And she said she came out of her body. She used to be able to just put herself into that position and come out. She said she just saw too much, which to me just says
fuck you up.
She didn't have much. Yeah.
Listen.
And you need guidance too, right?
It will fuck you up. No, you don't need no guidance. You just need to experience it. You need to see it. And then you need to lose the fear of it. But you'll come out your body. You'll come out your body and see a fucking giant standing in your front yard. You gonna be like, "What the fuck? Nah, I ain't coming back out no more. I'm good." Like, bro, I saw 4 lion head people come towards me. Most people would have been like, "I'm never doing that again." If that would have happened to me on my first experience, I never would have done it again. I moved in stages.
So is everything? Let me ask you this: is your vision as extremely cool?
Vision, fam, you seeing colors that don't even exist here. It's like you see shit. I told you, I'm my own light source. Fam, I looked up in the sky. The first experience I look up in the sky, I'm looking for the sun because it's so bright outside. It ain't no sun in the sky.
Wow.
Bro, this ain't even seeing. The shit we doing right now ain't even seeing. This ain't touching. Wow. This ain't smelling. This ain't tasting. This ain't nothing. This is stepping in a pile of dog shit. The whole thing. The whole experience.
Wow.
The whole experience.
Wow.
I'd rather be in realm 2. Because at least they not 3-dimensional. I'd rather be up there. It ain't 3-dimensional. They got 12-strand DNA. We only got 2 strands of fucking DNA, bro. 2 Understand what that means. You don't have abilities. When Inky and then Hersag was genetically modifying those beings that were here to make humans, they took out the other strands because we were originally supposed to be slaves, and that's it. You can't have slaves that can fucking fly.
See, I guess that's what I'm still trying to understand, though. Why? Okay, I guess I want to talk to one of the 13 family people and ask, like, why did they create this? I know it's to experience what we are not, but I'm saying, like, to the point of, well, just sheer utter confusion. Like, they put it all here.
You're going to literally answer your own question every time.
Because,
Because listen, when you break it down to the simple fact that we're just here for the experience. That answer, it ain't no why it don't matter. Why do you play the video? Why do you play the video game?
Right.
It ain't a reason.
Right.
You just fucking get on it and say, I'm gonna play to win and get off of it and I'm out. Like, you don't have no internal deep reason you play Call of Duty. You just fucking play it. And then when it's over, you turn that shit off and go about your business. And that's as simple as this whole shit is. And if you can understand it that simply, this whole shit starts falling away. Like I told you, it falls away like dominoes. Like, I don't give a fuck about I don't give a fuck what happened. I prefer to die because then I can go home. Now, I'm not gonna do it to myself. And the reason, and so so we were talking about that. And we kind of got off, but I wanted to mention it so that your listeners hear this. There was a time after I had my first couple of experiences, I didn't want to be here, and I actually talked to Darius, like on the phone, like called him on Telegram through the phone. I said, hey, I need to talk to you. I need to call you. And he was like, yeah, call me. Because this was before he kind of now gone. Like, I don't even know if I had that same access to him. I sent him a message. He ain't responded yet. I sent that shit like 2 weeks ago. But he gone. Like, and I get it. Like, he's out here teaching. That's like if you meet, and I'm not calling him Jesus, but that's like if you meet Jesus and you ain't one of the 12 disciples. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. It's like, I met the nigga. He dapped me up, healed my body. I can't call the nigga whenever I want. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't go to his house. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, but at that point, I had access to him, more access to him. So I called him. I said, man, listen, I'm feeling crazy right now. I said, I don't want to be here. Like, I'm looking at my children and I don't want to be here. It don't feel right. It feel dark. And he said, and he straight up told me, he said, I understand. I know exactly how you feel. Everybody feels that way once they've been on the other side. Why wouldn't you? This place is, the other side is home. He said, but what you got to consider is the souls you'll be disappointing if you don't complete the mission. So if I don't tell people about the other side, the great work, and tell them about, you know, you can go to the other side and be healed in your body, or at least get information, or the main thing, the number one thing, understanding and remembering that you exist beyond this bullshit. That's really what it's about. Once you understand that, like I said, the rest of the shit fall away like dominoes. But if it's a certain, you have soul agreements with people, the people I'm talking to now, the people that watch my YouTube videos on the other side, I know these people. Dang. I agreed to make these videos for them to wake them the fuck up. Right. So if I don't do that, them souls ain't gonna wake up, so they don't get the fullness of their experience. And he told me that shit, and that's the only reason I'm sitting here talking to you today. Because I promise you, had I not had that conversation with him and I got offered to stay on the other side, I would have stayed. Like, I don't know that I wouldn't have just ended it myself. Because that's how much I was like, this is stepping in a pile of dog shit. Like, it just is. And I don't care how good your life is. I don't care if you're a millionaire. This is stepping in a pile of dog shit compared to the other side. Wow. If you're a millionaire and you got everything, every physical, material thing you could ever want, it's dog shit compared to being over there. Because over there, I can build worlds. Fuck a car. Right, and it's instant. Fuck some jewelry. Nigga, I can become a diamond. I can let my body radiate like a diamond. Fuck wearing one. Wow. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can.
So what things did you do to yourself over there?
Nothing. So this is the thing. These are downloads I got. I didn't do anything to myself. Like, I never was in a situation where I was there long enough to change my appearance. You have to be on the other side for a while before you can change. Because when you first go over there, your soul carries the imprint of your physical body. So what you look like now is what you'll look like for a period of time until you've been over there long enough, and then you have the remembrance enough to know I can change my physical appearance, right? So, but people I know have, they look in the mirror and they change their face to a woman, or change their face to this, or change their face to that. So you can do that. I haven't done it yet. I'm still accessing stuff. Again, a lot of the information I got from downloads from those real simple experiences, right?
Have you ever watched, like, or sought to observe, for example, prayers, how prayers look, or any of that stuff? Because here's the thing. I know in certain practices, spiritual practices, people do what's called venerating. venerating their ancestors, or you know how people, they'll have a like whenever someone passes away, they'll burn some stuff as a ritual, right? From what you've seen, that stuff is just for this side, for somebody to feel better.
That's for you to
or
feel
or
better.
does that actually, or does it? So for the people that's on the other side,
they don't give a fuck about your save. They don't give a fuck about you. I mean, you may bringing them into remembrance, and they can feel that energy. My mom, so my sister actually experienced my mom. Like she came, and my sister was in the shower, and she said she felt my mom's hands washing her hair, so that she could stop washing her hair, so she could talk to my sister. My sister was talking to my mom, like audibly. And because I know what I know now, I know that's a real experience she had. And then also, too, my sister had that near-death experience, so that probably opened her up to certain things from an ability standpoint. They know what you're going through here. They know it doesn't make them feel sad or feel like, you know, they don't feel sad for you because they already know what it is. And they know that as soon as you die, it's going to be like you never left the other side. You see what I'm saying? There's no time that they waiting for you. So if you want to do that, cool. Like, again, it's your experience. You do what you want. It don't matter. But you ain't keeping them alive. They already alive. You see them? They more alive than you are. You see what I'm saying? They more alive than we are.
Right. So what do you say from your experience? Because I'm not saying that, you know, this is the end all be all. I'm just asking your
and that's all I'm ever going to speak to is from my experience. So, yeah.
Right. So like I've heard people who, again, whenever they're dealing with the ancestors and stuff, they be like, my ancestors said they hungry, they want this, they want that.
Listen, hey, if I wanted a sandwich on the other side, I just think of a sandwich and a sandwich will appear. Like, I don't need you to bring me shit when I'm over there. I am God. I am God. What you can, and I don't say that from a standpoint. I'm saying you're God and everyone else is too. And so when I say God, what you think God is, again, you don't even have to call it. I don't even call it God. I say ye are gods because that's what the scripture says. That's the words that scripture uses. But whatever you whatever you think God is as a concept, that's what you are. If you think God is omniscient, that's what you are. Omnipresent, that's what you are.
Omnipresent, right? All that.
Would God need to ask you for a sandwich? No. So why the fuck you think why would I come back and tell somebody who's still in the third dimension, if they could give me a sandwich, it's going to be the worst sandwich I ever had. Because it's a sandwich from this garbage ass shithole of a place. When I can have the most pure sandwich ever created in the history of all sandwiches forever them, I can just simply think, hey, I want a sandwich. Fuck a sandwich. Matter of fact, give me a tomahawk ribeye, and it's gonna taste like the cow was made from unicorn piss. Like, it's gonna be the greatest steak I ever had in my life. Like, there's nothing that can compare here in the third dimension. When people say that, and listen, people are entitled to say what they want. And that's cool because it's probably people listening to me that's going to listen to me and be like, he full of shit. I don't believe that. I don't care what you believe. And I'm very straightforward in telling people that. I don't give a fuck what you believe. Believe whatever you want. Know whatever you want. I know what I know. And I ain't trying to start a church or a new religion. So I don't care about whether people listen to me or believe me or not. I don't care. Like, if it don't resonate with you, go find your own truth. I know what I know. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I don't shit on people's experience. Even people that's still in church, I don't shit on them. Bro, what another thing that this thing has done for me in my inner body experience is made me stop being judgmental. Right. Like, I used to couldn't stand stuff like homosexuality and all this other shit. Now I don't care. It's not my preference, and I'm not gonna be homosexual. But if that's what you want to do it. This is you agreed to do it anyway. Nigga, in the last life, I might have been that. Just to have the experience. Right. Just to know what that feels like to be homosexual. And to go through what you need to go through as a homosexual. I might have done that. Man. I don't know that. But what I'm saying is, now I don't pass judgment. Because guess what? There is no judgment on the other side. only judgment you gonna ever receive is what you judge yourself for. There is no conditions. There cannot be, and Darius says this all the time, and it couldn't be more true. There cannot be unconditional love where there's a judgment.
With conditions, yeah.
So if it's judgment, you got conditions. So if God is agape love, unconditional love, that's impossible for the God of your Bible to be unconditional love if he's going to condemn you to a place for eternity. Because that means he's operating off a condition. So
and that means he's a liar.
And he means he's a liar. So
yeah.
But now that I know the God of the Bible is in Lil, and he's a
right.
Anunnaki being that came down here and told these niggas that. Listen, so it's funny we jump around, but I did want to touch on this. You know that verse in the Bible where Jesus was talking to the Pharisees and he was saying, I know who your father was a liar from the beginning.
Yep.
He was a murderer.
Yep. Talking about the God of this world.
That's because Jesus had already had an out-of-body experience and he knew the history of the world. So he knew Enlil is your God. He just came and became Yahweh, and y'all still work. That's why he called him a murderer. Because he knew in the Old Testament when he told him, when Enlil told the Israelites to go kill all them people. Right. This is why he said what he said. He said, and he calls him the devil. Devil in Hebrew means deceiver. It don't mean, it's not a being, it's not a person. Devil ain't
just
a person.
Like Satan means adversary. They can't get it through their
It ain't a
heads.
person. It's not a person. It is a person, but it's not a spiritual person. It's not an entity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a person.
Yeah.
It's Enlil. So when he said that to them, that's why they shut the fuck up. Because they knew he knew something they didn't even know, which is you don't even know what God you worshiping. You don't even know what he looked like. And that's what John the Baptist told them niggas. No man has seen him or heard his voice. You know why? Because whenever Enlil talked to the Israelites, it was always from a cloud. You know what's in the cloud?
Right.
A craft, a spacecraft. This is how he led them through the wilderness in the dark with the light coming from the cloud. This is how he fed them the manna, because he lowered an apparatus that had manna in it that they could eat from. Like, these are all practical fucking things. But because your fear of going to hell supersedes your love of the truth, your fear of going to hell supersedes your love of the truth. You have made your truth based on a book that you don't have any earthly comprehension of.
Bro, the thing about people's comprehension with the Bible that gets me is, as we mentioned earlier, most people just remember stuff. They don't study. They don't question. Like, again, ask, seek, knock, right? A lot of people don't ask questions, because I'm going to tell you some of the questions I remember asking to help get me where I was. First of all, I had a problem with Genesis 8. Why is God scared of people and talking about we need to go down there and stop them? Then on top of that, I paid attention to the fact that while you go stop them, how did you stop them? You confuse their language, right? You change the language and confuse it. But later in that same Bible, it says God is not the author of confusion. There we had a problem, bro. Right there we had a problem. Then when I went to Isaiah 45:7 and he says, oh, shoot, I create good and evil, I'm like, oh, we got even more problems. Then when I looked at Jeremiah 8:8, where it says, you think you wise, but the pen of the priest has worked in falsehood. I'm like, whoa, let's really pay attention here. Again, you have to really pay attention to what the scriptures are saying, because there's a lot of quotations or things that will let you know that something's not quite adding up.
Hey, listen, bro, I stopped calling them scriptures for the most part, because it gives it this holy tone, and it's nothing more than a history book. It's literally a history book. And if people stop trying to make it and they say, well, no, it's got prophecies in it. Well, yeah, because the people in them have had out-of-body experiences and been shared things about the future. That's still happening right now. They have a whole government program for remote viewing so that they can see what's happening in the future. That shit ain't new. But if the government do it, it's demonic. But if Ezekiel doing it, it's of God. Like, come on, man.
And then everybody make up excuses, too, for what they don't know, right?
Exactly.
Because the thing is, between Malachi and Matthew, I've heard several preachers say, for 400 years, God didn't speak to Israel, and that's why you don't have anything between Matthew and Malachi. I'm like, bullshit. If you go get the Apocrypha, that covers the whole Greek rule over Israel. That's all of that. It wasn't
And listen, if
silence.
God was,
People just making up excuses.
And listen, if God wasn't talking to them, it was just because Enlil left this earth and stopped talking to them. There is no God in the sky talking to these people, bro.
Right.
Let's just cut the shit. There is no guy sitting on the throne, white hair, white beard. I'm talking to you, and you did it. John the Baptist says no man has seen him or heard his voice. So is John the Baptist a liar? That's what you might gotta be fucking telling me. Because he said no, I want to be very clear here. He said no man, not Jesus or any other man, has seen him or heard his voice. So whose voice are we hearing? You know why John said that? Because John is taking you inward, saying, yeah, if you are hearing him, you hearing yourself. And anything these other niggas heard was a being that's been long gone from here, done left here, and that's why you don't hear. Listen, if God is the same yesterday and today and forever, why the fuck he ain't showing up now?
Thank you.
In the physical.
Thank you.
Not on some spiritual, oh yeah, the Lord works in me. No, why he ain't showing up right now?
Exactly. And that's what gets me, bro, because everybody can make up all these excuses. I remember being 8 years old sitting in church saying, why don't none of the stuff that happened in the Bible happen in real life?
Now. Why it ain't happening right now? Why it ain't happening? Like God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. That covers all the timeline. The past, the present, and the future. God don't change, right? Your God of the Bible don't change. Why? Where he at? The world is worse now than it's ever been. Where he at?
Right.
Why he hasn't presented himself to nobody? Fuck him presenting himself to a large mass of people. Why he ain't came down and presented himself to nobody?
Nope. Right. And everybody can. And why does everybody have to defend him? Everybody can speak on his behalf, but nobody has anything real to show for, quote, God.
Ain't nobody seen them. Can't nobody give me no accurate depiction of them. This is why I say when people are like, God is real, I'll be like, what does he look like?
Right.
Wait,
and the thing is, bro,
first of all, let's even take that back. Why am I even calling him a he? Why is God a he? Is God not a spirit, and those who must worship him in spirit and truth? If you believe that, then he ain't a he or a she.
Thank you.
Spirits
because
don't have
didn't Yeshua also say there ain't no male or female? Come on, man.
Ain't no Jew, no Greek, none of that shit. All that shit
but all you got to do, you got to go, exactly. And so that's when we went through, both of us in our own ways, went through, started looking at history, seeing what was changing the Bible. Because again, I told somebody who really loves the Lord, and I know that I ticked them off, but I said, I will never bow down to the God of the Bible ever again. I said, this is stupid. I said, I use my 7-year-old as an example. I said, let's say I'm God and my 7-year-old is mankind. I said, now how stupid is it that I would take my son, build a house for him, put him in there, and then I'm going to take a grown adult, because that's what Satan is, supposed to know more than us and all that. I'm going to take a grown adult and I'm going to put that grown adult in there, and I'm going to let that grown adult rape my son, pillage my son, do all kinds of stuff. And I'm going to tell my son that you better not fall subject to his influence, although I put him in there with you. Right. And if you do, then I'm going to kill you and I'm going to cut you off forever. What kind of sense does that make?
Listen, these people, church people that hate talking to me, they just stop talking to me because I point back to the very scriptures they read. So, or Bible verses they read. So when you talking to me about God and this, I'm like, so you mean to tell me Job, a righteous fucking man, never did nothing wrong, they playing with his life? Right. Satan goes to him. First of all, y'all told me Satan was in hell. So how does Satan go to God and get to have a front row seat and have an audience with the creator of all things if he's supposed to be in hell? So that's number one. Let's get that bullshit out of there. So clearly Satan can do whatever the fuck he want. If he can go to and fro, where you been at, Satan, going to and fro from the earth? Nigga, what kind of...
And he get to negotiate his terms.
Nigga, what kind of punishment is that? You done fucked up the whole plan, and your punishment is you get to go to and fro, seeking who you can devour?
Seeking who you can devour?
Fuck out of here, nigga. Like, what are we talking about? Like, so you mean to tell me he goes to the throne of God, God is the guy, he like this, hey, nigga, I'm him. Satan go up and park his goofball ass in front of him and say, hey, I bet you I can make that nigga curse you. I bet you I can. And then God said, you know what? I'll take that bet. Get the fuck
out of here, bro. What are you
doing? Get the fuck
here?
out of here. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with my intelligence. Stop playing with me.
Right.
God said, oh, bet I give you the over-under. Here, let's do it. Bruh. And they fucking ruined that nigga life for a fucking bet. Killed his children. Killed his wife. Put him through all kind of shit. Made him lose everything he had. Oh, well, he gave him back tenfold. He didn't give him his wife and his kids back tenfold. There was people in his life. You can't kill my wife and my children and give me a new wife and some new children. I'm like, oh, it's cool. Fuck out of here, man. Stop playing with me.
Right.
Stop playing with people. And this is why I don't fuck with church or none of that other shit, because y'all playing with people instead of telling them the fucking truth. Because a lot of these preachers go to these seminary schools and they learn the truth. They learn this esoteric shit that we all know, but they're told not to do that. Because if you do, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna lose your 501c3 status and you ain't gonna have to pay taxes. Man,
I've seen it firsthand.
That's what I'm saying. This is why I don't respect none of it. I'll smack a preacher in the face. I don't care nothing about none of them. They regular ass people just like you and me. They are not gifted from God. They are, and again,
they speaking from their own mind.
And listen, and even with that, I don't judge them. You know why? Because they only here to have that experience for this whole template to exist. And so they gonna have to give an account for that to themselves. Again, there's nobody that's gonna judge them. They gonna have to feel every fucked up thing they did, how they misled the people. They gonna have to feel that. So you know what that looks like for them? They gotta live the torment that all the people had as a result of him misleading them.
Oh, bro, think about the poverty they kept people in.
He gotta feel all of
last?
Dog,
you know how people give their last on tithes not knowing that they ain't got nothing to do with money. They ain't read Deuteronomy correctly.
Listen to me. Think about the people who have physically abused their wives because of some shit that happened in the Bible that you was teaching. You gotta feel all that shit as a pastor. You gonna have to feel the guy who hit his wife, the way it felt with his wife, and you don't get to feel it in 4K. You gotta feel that shit in 1,000,000K. So you gonna have to give an account for all that. Now, when it's over in your life review, you can forgive yourself and move on because there is no eternal judgment. But while we here, fuck you. Like, fuck you for lying to people. Fuck you for steering all these people the wrong path instead of teaching them the truth. And that's just how I feel. And so, and again, with that being said, I still don't judge them in terms of an eternal judgment. They not going to nobody's hell. Nobody's going to no hell.
They playing their part.
They playing their part in the construct. But they gonna have to pay for what they done in terms of having to feel it from the other person's perspective. Like, and so it runs deep. And so, you know, hey, believe what you want to believe. I don't care. Because this is what I'll end it with this. It don't matter what you believe. You gonna find out the knowledge of the truth when you leave here. I don't give a damn what you believe. You gonna know what I know now when you leave here. It's just that simple. I'm just getting a sneak preview of it. I'm getting ahead of the game. So I know what to expect when my time is up here. But if you thinking you going to heaven, you going to get to that life review and be like, shit, I didn't know I had to feel all of that. I didn't know I had to feel that type of level of despair, that level of pain, that level of hunger, that level of evil or whatever you want to call it. I got to feel all that because I inflicted that on somebody. And I got to feel it times 1,000.
So that makes me wonder how bad some people are going to feel when they get to that place and realize I didn't have to suffer through all that. I think that'd be just as tormenting, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And like when you get there and realize like, yo, okay, so let me say, I don't think you'll feel that way. And the only reason I say I don't, and again, I don't know. I'm just saying what I think. And the only reason I say that is because you already knew you was going to feel that and you're going to remember that. Once you get to your life, you're going to remember the agreement you made. You're going to know that this was part of the agreement. You're going to know that your life review is part of the agreement because that's part of the agreement. Like you have the experience, you got to come back and have this life review. You know that. So when you in your life review, you ain't sitting there like, oh shit. You know what's going to be in that motherfucker. You already know because you know all things. You ain't sitting in the life review waiting to find out. You already fucking know. You're God.
Bro, I gotta get to the other side. I gotta get to the other side, bro. I just gotta get to the other side because
Yeah.
You
You
make
need to
this-
experience. You got to,
Yes.
because again, like I said, once you experience it, all this other shit falls away. You stop having questions. This is why I said I don't read no books no more. Like, I ain't read the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ again since then, because I already know what he learned from it. That we exist beyond this. I ain't picking up the secret book of John because I already know what he was writing about.
But see,
you see what I'm
but
saying?
keep in mind,
I don't need
see,
it.
that's the beauty. You went through the process. See,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm glad you said that, because again, we asked the questions. Reading those books was the seeking, but applying this part is the knocking, so that the door was open.
Yeah. Oh no.
You were able.
The OBE is the door open. That's the door.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You ain't even knocking at that point. Once you had that first OBE, the door just, listen, your whole shit is going. I'm telling you what's gonna happen when you do it, and I can't wait for you to have it, because you so intuitive, you so fucking smart already. You got a lot of the answers already. Mm-hmm. But the ones you don't have is gonna fill in every fucking blank you've ever had. You never gonna read another book again. You never gonna go and be like, oh, I want to know. You ain't gonna care, because you already fucking know the answer to the test. Most people read the Bible because they trying to find the answer to the test, the answer to keep them out of hell. Whatever that answer is, to keep me out of hell. I'm gonna listen to this book. And Islam the same way. I'm gonna do this so I don't go to hell. I can go to heaven and have these virgins or whatever. Buddhism, I'm gonna follow these different things so that I can have a great life, and then whatever they shit is. But when you know the answer already, you don't give a fuck about the test no more. I don't care about the test. I don't care about this shit. I don't care about the life. I'm just here to experience
you pass
it.
regardless.
I know what is gonna happen regardless of what happens. I know what's gonna happen. Now, now listen, hold on, before I go there, because I don't want people to hear that and say, well, I can just do whatever I want. No, I personally carry a fiduciary responsibility to treat people the way I would have to treat them on the other side. Since I can't hurt people on the other side, I ain't trying to hurt people here. Since I can't lie to people on the other side, I ain't trying to lie to people here. Since I can't, do anything negative to anybody on the other side, I ain't trying to do nothing to nobody negative here. Right? Because anything I do over here, I got to account for that in my life. I got to feel that. And I don't want to feel that. I'm going to feel enough. And I think that's enough for me. Right? So I'm just, this shit is so simple. Just fucking stop putting so much emphasis on the dog shit we walking in every day. That's it.
So basically, continue to go inside and stop focusing on all the outside.
Don't focus. Jesus told you that. If you really a Christian, that should be the number one thing you took from Jesus. He said,
that's not taught. They are taught to pray for prosperity. They are taught, like, again, why are none of them? Yeah, I think that's your side. Why are none of this cool? It's cool. Why are none of them? They believe he's coming back. Why are none of them selling their possessions? Why are none of them getting ready for the return?
Because
everybody always talking about getting ready. They don't want him to come. They don't want that anyway.
First of all, Jesus himself isn't coming back.
Right.
First of all,
Jesus and the Christ are two different things. Let's go ahead and.
So the Spirit of Christ is coming back, and it's already somewhat here now, which is why you see this awakening through the out-of-body experience community. You see this awakening happening. That's the Christ consciousness. That's what Christ learned in the Egyptian mystery. The biggest thing Christ learned wasn't Reiki healing and all that. It was OBEs. Right. That's what gave him the understanding so that he could go learn all the rest of this shit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, and the thing is, when there's I don't recall what chapter it was, but I know he was breaking down how he created the wine. And he was talking about the frequency of grapes versus water and how it happened. Man, I'm telling you, it's
alchemy.
One thing, if anybody, I would definitely encourage anybody, if they're interested, read that Aquarian Gospel.
Yeah.
I will give you a hint. Jump to like chapter 68, 69. You'll see exactly what he literally says. This is what Christ is. I'm Jesus. We two different things.
Yeah. It's not a name. It's a title.
Exactly.
And people don't even understand that. They walk around calling him Jesus Christ like Christ was his last name.
Just like Satan and devil. They personifying that.
again, I remember it. Now, again, I got some good stuff out of them Hebrew Israelite guys. It was one pastor, his name was Kenneth, what was it? Kenneth something. I can't remember his name, but he was so dope, like the way he taught it, which is, I think, reason why I was so practical, because he taught it in a practical way, and it wasn't all this anger built up in it. And it was like, yeah, we the children of Israel, but still, we got to do what we supposed to do. Fuck what everybody else got going on. And we can't abhor the Edomites and the Egyptians. We can't treat them this way if we supposed to be the children of the Most High. So that's why I fuck with him. Kenneth, I can't remember his name, but he said one thing that was so profound, I still remember this day. He said, the problem is people believe what they know, but they don't know what they believe.
What they believe. Yeah,
and that shit blew the doors off of that shit when he said that. He said people believe what they know. So what they've been told, they believe that, but they don't know what they believe. They don't know the essence of what they claim to believe, which is why people don't know about Jesus and know his name. It wasn't Christ, and his name wasn't even Jesus. And like there's been 16 Christ that we know of, because Christ is his anointed one, right? So just like I said, it's just, I don't hate the church. I do hate the confusion it has caused. I do hate the fear that it's caused, because it's causing people not to have an honest experience. This experience is not supposed to be so downtrodden in such a shithole, but most of it is because we live in so much fear. And that is why I'm going to, the day I'm up out of here, I'm going to talk about the great work. I'm going to talk about OBEs and go to the other side and see. Right, there you go. And go to the other side and see. Go to the other side and see. Because once you realize who you really are outside of these flesh suits, again, I'll say it for the third or fourth time, all the rest of this shit falls away like dominoes, bro.
Yeah.
It's nothing. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you, and I feel the same way. I don't necessarily hate the church. Well, I put it this way. I do. I hate religion. Yeah. I appreciate it. I appreciate it because church falls under religion.
Yeah.
But
I don't hate the people. I do hate
I hate the doctrines and the institution.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's too many of them. You know what I'm saying? So, and even outside, like again, even within the Islam, Hinduism, they all have what I studied. I read all of them, and what I found is that they all have their exoteric, which is the masses, you know, and each of them have their esoteric side, but you have to know how to decipher it. And either you want it or you don't. What I don't like is how everybody walks around and say they know the truth. And I'm like, even the Bible says, well, in the scripture, in the Bible, it says the Spirit will guide you into all truth, which lets me know there wasn't one truth in this realm. You see what I'm saying? Outside of this, like what you're experiencing, yes, that's truth. But in this realm, like you got to know how to take all of that stuff and bring it together.
Yeah, but you notice what he said though. The spirit, you got to go to the Spirit to get all truth. The Spirit is over there. The Spirit on the other side. So you ain't gonna never get the truth as long as you getting it from a corrupted realm. The realm is corrupt. You'll find bits and pieces of the truth in a corrupted realm, but you never gonna get the full view. Because you're in the lowest realm, in the most corrupted, least free, least truthful realm there is. You got to understand, the dimensions go down to us, to 3-dimensional. We only got 3 dimensions. Everything above us is more than that. You know what I'm saying? So there's more truth. Yeah. The higher you go up, it's more truth. So the only truth we get is that little bitty 3-dimensional shit that we get to experience here, and the shit that they put in books that we believe but don't know. You know what I'm saying? And we don't question it because we stuck in belief. We don't know. This is why I tell people, listen, read all the books you want, go to church, don't go to church, do whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. Do what you want, because I already know what it is. But when you're ready to come into the knowledge of all things, you need to start practicing out-of-body experiences. And I ain't telling you need to do it a certain way. You just need to get your soul the fuck up out your body and see the other side. If it takes DMT to do that, fucking take DMT. I wouldn't suggest that. Because, and the only reason I say that is because when you do go to the other side off of that, it's like you driving with drunk goggles on. So you kind of your consciousness is kind of blurry. So if you want the full clear view, then you got to do it the natural way. But if you need DMT to see that shit, do it. You need mushrooms to see that shit, ayahuasca, whatever, do it. Because what you need to see is the other side. Because once you know what's going on, once you know, fuck all the other stuff, once you know what's going on outside of this realm, you ain't believing shit else going on here. It don't matter what they preaching. Ain't no preacher today, I don't care how much Bible they know, ain't no preacher today can come and tell me nothing about nothing.
Right.
I don't care if they coming with good intentions, love, all this. Cool, I love you too. But you wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. None of that means that. That don't mean that. Yahweh is in Leo.
And especially if you still telling me to go seek a God outside of myself.
And no, especially if you telling me the only way to get to that God outside of myself is through you or through Jesus.
Oh, man.
Nah, I don't need
That's one of the things that's got me.
I don't need no intermediary. Even if it was a God, I don't need an intermediary. I can go straight to it. That's what I found out in the Israelite world. I got to that. That's what I took away from that. I was like, yeah, if it is a God up there, I don't need you niggas to get to him. All I need to do is follow this word and read and do that. But then once I found out the next stage, I was like, nigga, that ain't even God in the first place. So I don't need to get to him. No, that's not. Yahweh is not God. Yahweh is Enlil mixed with Marduk, two different characters that were here. And there's a mixture of the two because those beings had left and they didn't know who the fuck was God. So they said, oh yeah, these stories about this guy, that's God.
And you know, it's funny that that's in the Bible that Yahweh said, don't worship Marduk. You know, it's like it's in, bro. It's like, in there.
Listen, when you read the secret book of John, why the fuck would God need to tell somebody who and who not to worship? God don't care. He don't. The God and this is why when you hear him talking in the secret book of John, he talking about us. We don't give a shit about who you worship. What does it matter to me? Listen, so you went through like some of the stuff that caught you. The stuff that caught me in the Bible was when he said, "Let us go down and make man in our image." I was like, "Who the fuck is us? And why does God need help to make anything?" Why is he getting?
You don't make the whole world. Now you need help making man.
I need confirmation. Oh, I need to confirm something with you niggas that we going down. Like, well, I don't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the God that I know I am. If I'm on the throne, I'm not asking who is us. I'm going to do the fuck I want to do. Like, what are we talking about? Saul, when he told him to go kill all them Amalekites, I was like, yeah, nah, that's fuck off, nigga. You're not finna tell me God had you go be his personal hitman when he could just snap his finger and then people will cease to exist. Your God ain't powerful enough. Your God ain't powerful enough. If your God needs other people to go kill people for him, your God ain't powerful enough. Your God can't be God because he don't got no power. He don't have no power. Because if he's God, he don't need me to kill you. He could have just snapped his fingers and you don't exist no more. Like, you never existed. That's the power. When I think of a God, I think of that kind of power. So your God don't have enough power, right? And then when he's in Psalms where it says, ye are gods. And then Jesus doubled down on it. I was like, why would Jesus? And this y'all guy. You Christians, this your guy. This is the one y'all calling God. Y'all calling Jesus God. And Jesus told your goofball ass, ye are God. Well, that ain't what he meant. How the fuck you know what he meant? Nigga, you wasn't there.
Thank you.
You wasn't there. You wasn't there. You don't know shit. All you know is what some goofball ass preacher in some Steve Harvey suit told your goofball ass on Sunday. That's it. That's it. Like, stop playing. Stop playing with people's experience here. Now, again,
that's true.
The people who are tricked by all this shit, they agreed to be tricked by it. Not me. In my agreement, I was gonna break free.
Yes.
And that's exactly what happened. And so me and you coming together had to happen. We on the other side, we've been friends for eons. And we said, at this point in time, we're gonna meet with each other and we're gonna help each other break free up out this fucking 3D matrix bullshit. We're gonna help each other get out of it. It's gonna take a little process and we're gonna have to go through our shit. But you two gonna come up out of that shit. We gonna come up out of that shit during our experience. We gonna go down there and have some fun, and at the end we gonna come up out that shit.
Bro, you know what's wild? The agreement. I'm looking forward to exploring the other side more because I do want to find out what our dynamic is like. Because I'm telling you, what's interesting is We were both moving at our own pace. But when I told you the next thing was going to be, something greater, I'm telling you, that's me speaking from the soul, because I had no clue that what you were going to experience next was going to be the ultimate bust the whole thing wide open.
Bruh. Like, so it's funny because I never got into this, and I'm going to do this and then I got to go. But I want to tell you how I even got to that, right? Past the religious stuff. So my mom had passed and all that stuff. So I was already kind of like wondering, like, what happens when you die? But then my homeboy passed. This is like my best friend. And I got a video of him. I actually saw him on the other side. So I got a video on my channel about the time I actually saw him on the other side. And when he died, that fucked me up more than my mom, because you got to realize when somebody die in your age group, now it challenges your own mortality. Like, you start looking like, nigga, am I next, or am I about to be up out of here? So at this point, I'm feverishly trying to figure out what happens to you when you die, because I'm being faced with my own mortality, right? So I started watching all these NDE videos. I think it's actually a channel I subscribe to. I think it's called the Other Side or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I think I watched maybe 30 to 40 NDE videos. Like, cause me, I'm a student. Yes. So I'm looking for inconsistencies in their stories.
Right.
If y'all saying a bunch of different shit, then I ain't believing none of that shit. Right. But what I found was everybody was having the same experience. They always having a life review. They always experiencing this. They always, and then it was all coming back. So I was like, okay. And none of them experienced any eternal sent to hell or sent to nowhere. They all had their life review, and they was given the option to come back, or they was told they got to come back. Either way, they had to come back. That's the only reason you have a near-death experience is if you come back. If you don't come back, then you just died. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then I probably went to like 40 of them, and then I came across Darius. And the first thing, Darius was on this channel. So I'm like, oh, another nigga had an NDE. All right, cool. Let me see what he talking about. And he got on it, and the first thing he said is like, I ain't had no NDE. I practice out-of-body experiences. And I was like, okay, let's see what you're talking about, buddy. And I listened to his shit, and I was like, wait, you telling me I can experience that now? Out getting in a car accident and almost dying or da-da-da-da-da?
Right.
And immediately I went to his website, and he was selling the first part. He got two parts of the program. So the first part is just teaching you how to have OBEs, right? And the second part kind of deals with some of the stuff he saw. And so it kind of gives you more videos about stuff he's seen, the 12 realms, da-da-da-da-da.
Right. Yeah, I watched a few of them.
Yeah, the first part was $200. And I said, I don't know where I'm going to get this $200 from, but I'm going to sacrifice something because I need to know. I practiced for maybe 6 weeks and nothing happened. And then I had the one where I did the first one. The first one where I went outside in my house and I was like, what the fuck? And I saw the sun and my light was shining. And after that, I went and paid. I found that other $300. I said, I need to know all this shit. Damn. And that's what got me on the route. I was looking for what happened to my friend, what happened to my mom after they left here. Because the whole going to heaven and hell just didn't sit right with me. Because I'm like, they wasn't bad people. Why would they go to hell? You know, they weren't people that deserved hell. Because if you're going to have a heaven and hell, then it's a group of people that deserve hell, and it's a group of people that deserve heaven. And Christianity and religion doesn't have a defining line. It just says you need to believe. Well, there's a lot of people, the devil believe. According to y'all scripture, the devil believe in Jesus. He sat with them and offered them the whole world. So clearly he know he's a real thing, and he knows what Jesus came to do according to y'all's Bible. So does he get an opportunity to go to heaven? Like what's the cutoff line? Like how bad do you have to be to deserve hell? How good do you have to be to deserve heaven? Right? And that what fucking bothered me day and night about my family, because these my friends, my family, they gone. So I want to know, what do they in hell? Like, come on, you're not finna tell me. My mother-in-law, she don't know nothing about Jesus at all. She is the nicest person I've ever met in my entire life. You telling me she gonna go to hell because she don't believe in Jesus?
Right.
She done all the works, but you gonna tell me she going to hell because she didn't follow a law? She ate pork?
Right.
Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Stop it. So that's what sent me on my mission. And so from there, I said, I need to find out what happened to my mom and my friend. And that's what took me to the NDEs, and that's what brought me to Darius. And the first time I had my experience, I knew. That's when I knew. I went from believing to knowing. And so I no longer believe anything. I know what I know, and everything else I don't even care about. Like, that's the thing. People be like, well, have you looked in it? No, I don't look into nothing. I don't give a shit about it because it ain't the truth. It's not the whole truth. It's maybe part of the truth, but it ain't the whole truth. The whole truth is on the other side. Ain't no whole truth here. You're not going to find it. It ain't in crystals. It ain't in books. It ain't in religion. It ain't in sage. It ain't in none of that shit. The truth is over there because that's the home. That's the eternity. This is a small grain of sand on the beach. This lifetime is like a grain of sand. When you look at this lifetime in comparison to eternity, it's like a grain of sand on fucking Myrtle Beach.
So what's your YouTube?
So yeah, you follow me. It's you can subscribe to the channel. It's Soul Traveler 77. SOULTRAVELER 77. I just started. I got the same thing on my Twitter. I just started a Twitter channel, so I'm gonna start having like spaces on Twitter where we can talk about this stuff voice to voice, because it's kind of one thing to text and type a bunch of shit, and it's another thing to have dialogue. So I'm gonna start having Twitter spaces about it once I once I build up my following and get some of my subscribers over there. But if you want to watch the videos, you can watch. I got a new video that'll be coming out, and it's gonna talk it's gonna go a little more depth about what we're talking about as far as belief versus knowing, and how to let your soul lead you in this experience.
Good.
There is a point once you had the OBE. It's a point in which you understand that all your trying doesn't mean shit, because your soul already knows what has to happen because it's already made the agreement. So what you need to do is just relax and let your soul lead. When you feel something is right, do that. When you feel something is wrong, don't do that. And just live by that, and stop trying to control every outcome and every aspect of your life, because you can't. It's already done.
With that being said, I'm telling you, bro, I'm definitely gonna circle back around to you, probably after I had mine, because I would like for us to really talk through this a little bit more. It's such a wild balance. It's how, because even with what you just said, right? Not making it seem like you're speaking against yourself, but so for example, we know we're living according to what's supposed to be, but then we believe that we make mistakes. So we're gonna talk deeper into the practicality of how to, I guess, live better in the construct.
Yeah. And again, it is gonna sound different because you haven't seen it yet. And once you see it, you're gonna understand the words I have here don't give it justice no matter what I say. Like, it's not. Yeah. I know you big on words, and words are important here. On the other side, you don't even speak words, brother. You speak with telepathy. Your thoughts become your language. Like, I've never opened my mouth and said something on the other side, but I have said stuff, and it was just a thought, and it went out loud. Like when I was looking up for the sun, I literally said, "What the fuck?" But my mouth didn't move, but audibly it was loud. Like, what the fuck? So
yeah,
I know, like, because I know you big on words, and I let you have that because I understand your understanding right now. Once you understand that, you don't give a fuck about words either, because that's just for here. They're only spells here. They ain't spells on the other side.
Hey, my man.
Yeah,
bro, I can't wait to have you back. And I'm sorry for my code breakers, because y'all know that's actually my friend. So we gonna have more conversations that y'all won't be privy to. But I am really looking forward to having you back, though.
For sure.
We talked a lot. I mean, we talked about a lot. This is almost 3 hours, so I know you gotta go. Is there anything else you want to just share with people who are looking to get to the space where you are? Any additional advice?
Best thing I can tell you to do is look up Darius J. Wright on YouTube. Watch his videos. He got tons of interviews, and he kind of tells you his experience. Now, he's had way more experiences than me. He's been doing it for 10 years, and so my understanding is like baby food to his understanding. And then if you can afford it, pay the $200 and at least get the first part of the method, the ADA method. Get the first part so you can learn how to put yourself in sleep paralysis if you don't already know how. Listen, bro, we spend $200 on fucking gas now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we spend $200 on the most meaningless shit. I have shoes in my closet worth more than what I spent on this entire thing. And them shoes are sitting in my closet and they mean fucking nothing to me. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So the value is where you put it. And so go pay for his course so that you can learn how to put yourself in, so you can see it. Because once you see it, like I said, it's a knowing there that when they talk about peace that passes all understanding, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm at peace with it all.
Wow.
If my life ends tonight, I'm at peace with it all. Like, I don't care at all. So, so that'd be the best advice I give. If you can't afford it, cool. Stack your chips up till you can. There's other people probably teaching methods of putting yourself in sleep paralysis on YouTube. If you can find it for free, great. You know, it ain't a hard process. It ain't something that it's people that was doing it before Darius taught it. Like, you know what I mean? This isn't new.
Right, it's not,
Jesus did. You know what I'm saying? When he was in the wilderness, 40 days and 40 nights without food, what you think was happening? He was having out-of-body experiences. This is how he was able to see Satan and go up on the hill and see all the cities of the earth, because he's in an out-of-body experience. So it's been going on forever. This is the teachings of Thoth. This is the teachings of Christ. It's the teachings of all these people. Learn it, go to the other side, experience it, because once you have, you lose the fear, and that the end of fear is the beginning of freedom. And I'll just end it with that. The end of fear is the beginning of freedom.
I like that. And well, we're gonna leave out on that. The say it again. The ending of fear is the beginning of freedom.
Yes, sir. The end of fear is the beginning of freedom, and that's probably gonna be my next video. So it's just so if y'all see it, then y'all know what it is.
Go subscribe to this brother. Seriously, go subscribe. I'm already subscribed myself, but definitely go subscribe. This is how we master the frequency right here. The end of fear will be the beginning of freedom. So let's go, fam. Again, this is Master the Frequency. Thank you again, Corey Brandon, for being here, bro. I appreciate it so much.
Appreciate you.